Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. Folks, today is one of those days. Today is one of those days. And you know what I mean? When I mean one of those days, it's one of those days where you look up and everything's green and everything's starting to come together in terms of the broader thesis that a lot of the bulls have had, characterized by one of the names that we have followed for a long time, Mr. Robinhood, that is touching $82.23 right now. I would imagine a lot of people potentially seeing all-time highs on their entire portfolio. S&P 500 at 607, less than 1% away from all-time highs, 82.18 on Hoodie. It's one of those days. It really is one of those days. It's an incredible day across the market. We'll talk a lot more about some of the macro stuff. We got some geopolitical stuff happening. Trump is in the Netherlands right now, meeting in NATO. We got Tesla that's had a little bit of a sleeper of a day, down 1.2%, mainly because Tesla had a 10% day yesterday. Palantir, 143.65. We hit 52-week highs, 144. So it did not cross that yet today, but 142.90. It looks like it's going to close above 142. HIMS, about 1.7%. AMD, incredible day, 138.40. You got SOFI that's trying to go for 16. Google, 167. Grab, not a bad day, up about 4%. Reddit, 140, that's up 5. NVIDIA, 147.40. NVIDIA did not get to 148 yet, but looks like we're going to get that 147 close. I mean, it's just a hell of a day. The NASDAQ right here is less than 1% away. Nope, I think it got it. Yeah, 10 cents away from all-time highs on the NASDAQ. So even if we don't get that today, still pretty incredible. 540 right there on the NASDAQ, S&P 500, 607. I believe 612 is the all-time high, or what's the all-time high? 612. So if we get above that, again, less than 1% away, we got a chance to get there. And on top of that, Circle is down. And the reason you want to see this is not because you want people to lose money in Circle. It's because you want to see the names that are super expensive and frothy lose some momentum and have that money go to names that are rather undervalued. If Circle was running another 15, 30%, it would feel like a little bit too bubbly. And today we're getting the opposite. We're getting an NVIDIA that gets some momentum versus a Circle. Circle down about 14, 15%. Kathy Wood sold 500,000 shares of Circle yesterday. She bought AMD, not Palantir, Robinhood, TSM, Shopify for this reason. She was up 7x on her stock. She was like, you know what? I'm going to take some profits here and diversify. And that has not been the worst for the day. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We got a lot of headlines to get to. We have Technical Tuesday in about 30 minutes that we'll get to all that. By the way, Coinbase, my goodness, dude. I kind of think what's going on with Robinhood and Coinbase. All right, so let's start with Robinhood, and we'll kind of get into the discussion. I think Robinhood's kind of following Coinbase to an extent. I don't know why Coinbase is up 12% today. I have no idea. And I would love anyone to tell me what happened. I don't think it's because of, it's because of Bitcoin, obviously, but is it because of the ceasefire that got Bitcoin to be bullish? And now Robinhood and Coinbase kind of following that as well. Robinhood's also going up because we're kind of in a broader bull market right now. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the bullish things going on in this market and why the market's getting ready for all-time highs. And, Robinhood's a proxy on that, so that's helping. But Coinbase, they didn't announce anything special, at least not today that I saw. They had their big announcements last week. They got into the S&P 500 a month ago. Not sure exactly why that's moving. Maybe stable coins is helping it. A lot of people are potentially thinking that Robinhood is going to introduce a stable coin at the crypto event, which also is probably a catalyst that's helping it. But this is a heat map of the broader market. Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, even Apple, Broadcom up 4%, Amazon up 3%. Just a hell of a day across the board. And that's why it's getting some momentum. And yeah, even though Bitcoin's not moving a lot, Robinhood and Coinbase still moving in spite of that, simply because there's probably some other theses that people have in terms of why the markets are going green. So, let's talk about this logically. S&P 500, QQQ, less than 1% away from all-time highs. We just got a ceasefire. Trump's team is saying we're going to see more deals post July 4th after the bill is passed. You got rate cuts coming on the way. We'll talk a little bit about what Jay Powell said in his testimony. And then you have $7 trillion on the sidelines. My question is, what is the bear case that takes us down 10% from here? And I'm genuinely curious. I know we've been asking it for a while. Talked about it in the morning, but I just don't see that easily popping up. And if there is, I'm willing to kind of acknowledge and listen to what it is. Here's Basent about an hour ago talking about potential trade deals coming up.
Had a very successful lunch meeting with the senators. I think that we are on track for hopefully for a vote this Friday for July 4th for the tax bill. President is doing peace deals, tax deals, trade deals. So he's done a peace deal. I think we'd have the tax deal done by July 4th, and then we can finish with the trade deals. Had a very
So there you go. You got Basent saying, hey, Look, we're pretty good. We got a ceasefire already done in terms of a peace deal that could lead obviously to trade deals when the big beautiful bill passes. And if that does pass along with the ceasefire, which so far is in place, Pouncer right here 143, then that obviously could be very, very bullish for the broader markets. Triple V, thank you for the $400 super chat. You guys can tell he's probably loaded up on JetBlue right here. Now look, he mentioned JetBlue a week ago. It's up 4% today. The Morgan Stanley upgrade to $8 is probably what's getting this some love. Again, it is 20% short. That's the thesis right there. There is no fancy thesis other than it's 20% short, and you got some of the hedge funds that are thinking this thing is 50% undervalued. But this one is having a nice day along with the broader market right here. JetBlue up about 4% on the day. Yeah, Triple V needs to deposit crypto into Hood. If you didn't hear about that, he's going to hear about this right now when I explain it. But thank you for the $400 super chat. Absolutely incredible. JetBlue doing very well. Seems to be a position that he is happy about. Also, I'll tell you that he told me today he bought 1 million shares of Grab at 476. 1 million shares of Grab at 476. So he was up 40 million at around 11 a.m. For those that are new to the channel and don't know who he is, he's a very wealthy person, immigrant, came to the country, worked his ass off, ended up, really doing well. And now he trades in the stock market. So he's up 40 million in the morning. He bought 1 million shares of Grab at 476. Obviously already has a lot of JetBlue. And JetBlue right here at 427. He actually timed Grab really well. He bought it at, I think, 480 or 490, sold it at 505 before it dropped all the way to 450. And so now he's back in at 476. Now, the reason we're saying Triple V needs to bring some Hood or some crypto to Hood is because this is one of those things that gets you to say, oh my Hoodness. Oh my Hoodness. Robinhood this morning, or like 2 hours ago, introduces 1% on crypto deposits, which means if you bring some of your crypto to the platform, you get 1% on top of that crypto. So if you bring $1 million of crypto, you get $10,000 worth of it. And if collectively the Robinhood user community can bring over 500 million by July 7th, they will give you a 2% match. So this right here, when I posted it 30 or 20 minutes ago, like not 20 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 1.17 million had been deposited. I'm going to refresh right now on my screen. The number is now 1.2. It was 1.17, 1.2. They got $130,000 in the past 10 minutes. Yes, I know my phone is on life support. I live on the edge. This thing was never charged, which is really annoying. I'm going to have to upgrade the phone just because of this damn battery. But the point is, bro, like, this is like tech companies don't do this. They can't afford to be able to give this much money. They can't have these types of giveaways. And it's not really even a giveaway. It's kind of a match to be able to collect more assets. Imagine in the next 10 days, they get $500 million of assets. Robinhood gets about $3 to $4 billion of deposits per month. So that in and of itself would increase their net deposits. And they're only paying 2% for that because they know they're going to make their money on the back end. I mean, this is why Robinhood is so exciting and why it's getting this momentum from the street. Robinhood right here up 7.2%. We got 5 minutes into the close. Let's see if we get that $82 close. But nonstop, relentless execution is what we're getting from these guys. And it's pretty damn incredible. Tesla right here, 341. Again, taking a little bit of a breather on the day. Pouncer, 143. I think we're going to get that 143 close. NVIDIA, 147. Grab right here, 472. 350, up 3.5% of the day. Meta, 712. Pretty much all the Max 7s had a good day. Apple right here, slightly down, basically flat. TLT's even up. We got yields coming down. Dude, that 10-year is at 4.2, which is nice to see. I think it's a lot of dissent talking about stablecoin legislation and SLR ratios that are bringing demand back to treasuries. 4.291. We haven't seen that in about 3 weeks. So very nice to see getting some of that momentum right there. Yes, Surf SFRM is up 100%. This is a company, Surf Air Mobility, that is very similar, if I'm not wrong, to Joby and Archer. I think that's the thesis. Palantir does have a stake in these guys. It's up 89%. I have no idea why it's up today. I didn't look into it, but Palantir does have, I think, like a couple million shares in this company. And they actually did a demo with them like a year and a half ago. They posted a video. So, very, very small cap company, got a little bit of a run today, 87%. And that one is green on the day. So that's what we got. Bitcoin right here, 105.5, Palantir 143.17. And then Robinhood, it looks like we're going to get that $82 close. It would be pretty incredible, but just an amazing day. Just an amazing day for the broader market. Now, J-Pow, what did J-Pow say? So J-Pow did about 4 hours of testimonies. He didn't really say much, quite frankly. The number one thing J-Pow said is that we are going to be data dependent and we have to wait until we have the moment to cut rates. He kept citing tariffs. So he's sticking to this argument that tariffs are going to be inflationary. One moment we did have from Jay Powell's testimony is Rashida Tlaib asking Mr. Jerome Powell to explain the difference between supply and demand, and she got a little mad when people raised their eyebrows at her question.
Like you guys use these terminology. What is that? How do I communicate that to the public? What is the difference between supply-driven versus demand-driven rent?
You know, those are not terms that we use particularly often.
What's supply-driven formula?
That would mean that, you know, that there's not enough supply to meet demand, but at the same time, it also means there's more demand than there is supply.
So are you guys ignoring that?
No, but as I said again, our policies will not affect in the long run. No, I'm being
either
serious,
demand
or supply in housing.
I'm being serious, y'all. We're talking about a housing crisis that is getting worse right now because we're not paying attention to future instability that the current rates, and you can raise your eyebrows and all this stuff behind. I don't know. I mean, do you understand? Like, I come from a community right now that I believe is now being impacted by the current framework that you're putting together, that I do feel like it's going to be long-term effects on the housing crisis, and you're ignoring it.
No, we're not. Actually, we think the very best thing we can do is to fully restore price stability at the aggregate level. That will be the best thing for homeowners and for home builders and everybody else. That's in the long run, that is the single thing that Congress has assigned us to do.
But you see where I'm coming from. It is impacting future supply of housing, right?
Not in the long run, no.
Okay.
So that's what we got from Ms. Rashida Tlaib. I'm sorry about the video. The audio was not the best from Twitter. If you guys want to watch the whole thing again, there's my Twitter. You can listen to the whole video. But basically, she's trying to say, hey, like, what is supply-driven inflation? What is demand-driven inflation? And you can hear Jay Powell kind of like take a heavy sigh. And he's like, okay, so supply is how much we have of something. Demand is how many people want the thing that we have supply of. And then I think some people in the back, as she said, raised their eyebrows. She said eyebrows. And they were kind of just like, what question is she asking? And then she got kind of pissed off that people are questioning her question. But yeah, that is what we dealt with today in terms of the testimony. Outside of that, there's nothing else that we really got. Jay Powell said pretty much the same thing, that he's going to be data dependent. He's going to wait until they get better understandings of what's going on with tariffs. Again, his Fed presidents disagree with him. Michelle Bowman wants to cut, Goolsbee wants to cut, and Waller wants to cut. So I don't necessarily think that what Jay Powell's saying here will manifest itself in terms of, you know, waiting to cut. I think September we get it, maybe July. But nonetheless, that's what we got today from Mr. Jay Powell and his testimony. All right, here we go, folks. All eyes on Hoodie. We got 10 seconds. Do we get 82? Do we get the $82 close? I think there's a chance. Here we go. Tuesday, June 24th, 4 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. We got it. We got it. We got the $82 close. We freaking got it. 82.01 on the day by 1 cent. We got it. Up a little bit right here after hours. 82. We got the close. 80 was pretty awesome today. 81 was amazing. 82 was just incredible. We got to see all of that in the market open. Congrats to everyone again. Just a hell of a journey for me from 8 to 80, December 2023, kind of really began buying it and did not expect 80 in about 2 years, but here we are. And it's just been an incredible journey. Incredible journey. And I've been buying at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. My last buy was at 74 or 76.92 on Friday. I continue to believe this stock's going to do well. Look, the momentum is there. The risk is not the same as it was. The risk reward is not the same as it was a month ago, but given S&P wants to go to all-time highs, trade deals, ceasefire, earnings growth, all that put together, crypto event, nonstop innovation, this is something that does not have to come back down. And quite frankly, by the end of the year, I think we could see triple digits. Maybe we don't. Maybe we do. The one thing I will say, S&P 500 hasn't happened. And if these funds have to buy this stock at $85 to $90 in September, and they have to buy hundreds of millions of shares of it, this story can get very, very exciting by the end of the year. So absolutely incredible. Congrats to everybody. Robinhood right here. $82 close. Palantir gets the 143 close, up about 2.2%. Tessie 340 down about 2.4%. NVIDIA 147.80. HIMS right here, 42.92. AMD, great day for AMD as well. Congrats to everyone in this name. Advanced Money Destroyer. It is not destroying your money anymore. AMD right here at 138. S&P at 606 on the day for the close. Google 166.77. Grab 472, up about 3.5%. Reddit 140. Amazon 212. Meta 712. All of them up about 2% of the day. Even Salesforce 3%, 271 on the day. Not too bad. Apple right here slightly down. ELF slightly down about 1%. PayPal up about 2%. Bitcoin 105. SMCI nice 5%. All the semis got some love. SMH, great day for levered semis. ETFs like SOXL or SMH in general, up 3.6%. Very nice to see the semis catching a bid. And then Microsoft right here, all-time highs at 489. Did SoFi get a $16 close? They did not, but still 1585, up 3% on the day, which is not too bad. Upstart, I didn't look at that one today. Upstart, not bad, 9%. Upstart gets some love. SoundHound, 3.4%. Big Bear AI, I think this was mainly technicals, but this one was up 25%. 52-week high is $10, so that one's still below 52-week high, but nice to see this one up 25% of the day, basically up $1.523 for Big Bear AI. AMD again, 138. HIMS right here, 42.77. Nubank, 1341. Nubank as well, up 8% of the day, not bad. DoorDash, 236. Triple V's favorite, JetBlue, this stock, 4.15% on the day. Lyft right here, 15.92, up 6%. Uber as well, basically at all-time highs at 90 based on that Waymo partnership, 91.90, 7.815% on the day. Let's pull up the ETFs. Let's see how we did for the day. For the stock draft, let's pull this up. Matt's definitely in the lead right here. But let's keep it going. Enphase, how did that one do today? Enphase, I know it got hit last week a lot. Enphase, wow, up 11%. Nice little rebound, even after the solar subsidies getting hit from the spending bill. Not a bad rebound right here. Google right here, 160, almost 167, and then AMD 138. All right, so stock draft. In the lead is Matt, up 11.2%. Second is Tanner, up 5.49%. Third is Amit, up 1.9%. Fourth is Chris, up 0.46%. Steve is the only one who's negative, and that's mainly because of HIMS. Outside of HIMS, he probably would be green. So it's Matt, Tanner, Amit, Chris, and Steve currently right now in the rankings. ABCL, how did that do? Wow, another 10% day. Dude, this one's getting some momentum. ABCL was stuck in a range for a while. I think retail is picking up a little bit as well, and that's why it's getting some love. Lemonade right here, this one's down 1.5%. Oscar was down in the morning. Oscar, wow, closed down. It gapped up a little bit back to 21. Ended up down 2.3%. Iran, I think, was up 10% of the day. Iran up 8% to end out the day. So there you go. Yeah, put in the chat if you bought or sold anything. Put in the chat if you bought or sold anything. Let me know if you guys sold any covered calls, sold any puts, bought any stock. HIMS right here, 42.92. Again, it's just one of those things where I'm asking, what is the? I genuinely want to know what stops this market from getting to all-time highs. Resiliency, I think, is the word of this market. Moody's, bond auction, World War III, just nothing that really got people to get off the sidelines. And then on top of that, again, you know, we haven't talked about it in a while, but we definitely looked at it over the past couple weeks. Take a look at this right here. This is from Fundstrat, Global Fund Manager Survey. In the United States, a majority of fund managers are saying that they are underweight U.S. stocks. This is from Bank of America Global Research. You got a majority of fund managers saying, hey, we're overweight Eurozone, we're overweight financials, we're overweight currencies, we are overweight cash, and then healthcare, commodities, and telecoms is the next layers of if not overweight, equal weight. But you see this red candle right here, it's to the United States and to the US dollar, and that makes sense because the US dollar has been coming down. So what do we think happens in H2? We're probably gonna get some buying if this momentum continues and we get good earnings growth in the context of some of these hedge funds as well. Okay, we have FedEx earnings. I forgot we have FedEx earnings. So let me pull this up. FedEx don't have results yet. Or no, we do have results, but the stock's really not moving. Let me pull up the numbers. We do have FedEx earnings. What do we get? All right, we got a beat by 4% on the top line, or on the bottom line, beat by 2 on the top line. Revenue 22.2 versus 21.7. EPS 607 versus 582. EPS is up 12% year over year. Revenue flat year over year. It's not too bad for a company like FedEx. And there you go. Is the stock moving on this at all? FedEx. Let me know if anyone owns this one. FedEx. No, it's flat. It's flat after hours. Nothing on FedEx. Tomorrow we have Micron. That'll be a big one. And then we have Nike after that. But today we have FedEx. Nick said some NVIDIA. Someone said they bought some gold. Law of Will said I bought some Google. Bought Tem. How is Tempest doing? I didn't look at Tempest. Tempest, 68.28, up about 4%. Andy said I bought more Hood. Google, NVIDIA. I buy Hood almost every day. Yeah, today's the one day I really... Dude, I almost bought another 100 shares yesterday. I really did when it fell to like 75. But I was like, well, you know, World War III, maybe I should wait a little bit. Nope. Gapped up to 81. So yeah, I did not buy any Hood today. Pouncer Bull said I bought some Okta, ABCL, and Hood for the first time. All right. Sold a BBA covered call. I don't hate that. Premiums are probably good. Doug said I bought the dip this morning on VG, bought Hood. VG as well. How did that do? See some grabs and upstarts in the chat. VG ended up 1% on the day after being red in the morning. Red Cat Rock Lab. Oh, ASTS, dude. Space Gang. What a story. Another 6%, 53 all-time highs. I don't know what's causing the bid on space, but whatever it is, I like it. And my 2,100 shares of Rocket Lab really like it. 33.24 on Rocket Lab, up 1.4%. Basically, both of them at all-time highs, which is pretty incredible on some of the momentum we're seeing under space. And yes, the 10-year fell under 4.3. That is correct. 10-year fell under 4.3. Circle is giving back some of the gains. I do have one Circle put that I bought back at 200, and it's down like 2%. It's a long-dated put, kind of just a simple hedge on, hey, if this thing comes down. But, you know, does it really need to go to 180 bucks? I don't think so. It would still be up a lot from IPO. I just don't think it needs to come down that much. But, you know, Kathy tends to not really sell when stocks are really running. And, like, that's the thing that I guess in 2021, she was just buying a lot of things that were overpriced. But with Circle, she bought the IPO and, you know, she's selling it because it makes sense. Like 7X on it. Like, unless you think there's some massive runway, a 7X in 2 weeks, it's like that's a lot of hype that's entering the name, and she's diversifying it. And you can disagree with some of the stuff she's buying with the profits, but the point is she's definitely taking some profits here. And so I wonder who's giving a bid to this. Is it retail traders, retail investors? Is it hedge fund managers? Is it crypto maxis? Like, who exactly is pumping it up? But still, it's up very nicely from its IPO. S&P 500 right here, 606.7, and then AMD 138 currently right now. Is FedEx falling? FedEx is down about 2%. FedEx down about 2% currently right now. Okay, let's get a little bit of an update on the semis. I've been wondering all day why the semis have really been running. Let's get some coverage right here. This is why some of the semi stocks are getting their momentum.
There is. And so, like you said, the chip stocks are really driving the S&P infotech sector to fresh highs today. One name I like to look at is the SMH, is the semiconductor ETF. It's trading just below, 4% off its 52-week peak, with every single component in the green today. Like you mentioned, there's a few catalysts driving this rally, you know, within chips. You've got first, Taiwan's Economic Daily News reported that Foxconn held a private analyst meeting yesterday where management said their AI-related orders are locked in through 2027.
Wow. So Foxconn, one of the big chip suppliers, is saying, hey, for the next 2 years, we're locked in with orders. I mean, it's for everyone saying that everything around semis is cyclical. I mean, you got 2 years of guaranteed orders. Even if it slows down after 2027, it doesn't seem like it's going to collapse in the next 24 months.
Foxconn is essentially NVIDIA's biggest contract manufacturer for AI servers. So that is giving a lot of demand, and in the AI pipeline, helping names across the board from suppliers, Micron, Broadcom, and AMD. Meanwhile, Super Micro Computers convertible debt offering yesterday might have seemed like a bearish signal since it's typically diluted for stocks, but Wedbush today says it sees it differently. They're viewing this as Supermicro positioning for a surge in Blackwell chip shipments from NVIDIA. The theory is that Supermicro can finally get their servers out the door and start recognizing that pent-up revenue. And then,
okay, that's a big deal. I didn't think of the convertible note offering as bullish for demand for SMCI. I didn't make that connection over the past 24 hours. I mean, yeah, like, look, it's annoying to get the dilution by SMCI, but if they're raising the money because they have way too much demand because they have all these servers they need to make for chips, that actually is probably rather bullish for the entire semiconductor sector.
And adding fuel to the fire, Scott, HSBC upgrading Broadcom today, arguing that Wall Street is really undervaluing their custom chip business. And then lastly, I have to talk about Ambarella, because that name is surging about 16% following a Bloomberg report that the chip designer is contemplating selling itself, 17% right now. So the semiconductor supply chain overall for taking this, a big takeaway.
Ambarella might need to buy an umbrella because they're going to have to protect themselves from some tiers of the semiconductor bulls. I mean, goodness gracious, bro. Those are three pretty big macro tailwinds. SMCI raising money for demand, Broadcom getting upgraded for custom chips, and then Foxconn saying we're booked till 2027, one of NVIDIA's largest suppliers. Broadcom right here up 3.8% on the day. That market cap, $1.25 trillion. And they did get a $400 price target today across the street. Pouncy right here, 142.90. Tesla, 339. Tesla down a little bit more after hours. And then Robinhood, 81.94. Yes, I said currently right now again. I can't believe I said it again. Every time I say it, I need you guys to call me out. When you guys hear currently right now, I want to stop saying that because it kind of sounds a little stupid currently right now. But I don't know how it made an appearance, but it made an appearance. Jason said he should be on the way. So Jason should be here in about probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. And then we will start Technical Tuesday as well. Where was CoreWeave? Nebius got a bid today. CoreWeave flat on the day. Nebius up 7%. Great day for Nebius. Roblox up about 1.2. Lily up about 1%. Again, HIMS just really didn't catch that much of a bid. Up 2%, but nothing crazy from yesterday. AMD right here, 138.40. Currently right now. That was trolling. You'll know when I'm trolling, when I'm actually saying it with like so much confidence. You guys have to call me out. Thank you for your attention to this matter currently right now. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. Speaking of thanking people for their attention to this matter, that is from Mr. Trump. Let's get a little bit of footage on Trump today. So here is POTUS meeting some people in NATO today, the king and queen of the Netherlands. So you got POTUS right there, who is in the Netherlands, went there this morning, and he's working with NATO. And then you had this that was really interesting. This was one of the general secretaries of NATO who said, thanks to POTUS, thanks to Trump, we are going to be increasing the amount we spend on defense.
It will also be a massive achievement in making NATO fairer. For decades, the United States...
You guys can hear that, right? Let me make sure you can hear that. Okay, here you go.
To be a massive achievement in making NATO fairer. For decades, the United States sought to get Europe to truly step up. Now, European allies and Canada will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So let me salute President Trump's long-standing leadership in calling for NATO to increase defense spending. Today, I am pleased to announce that NATO has already added an additional $1 trillion in defense spending over the past decade. Mr. President, dear Donald, that is thanks to you pushing us. And tomorrow we will build on that foundation and add trillions more in defense spending because we need to do this. It will also be a massive...
I mean, we talk about the cabinet members glazing Trump. I mean, he said, Mr. President, the only reason we're spending trillions is because of you. So, you know, Donnie T loves to hear that. I mean, you know, he must be loving that the Secretary General of NATO is saying, hey, the only reason we're spending more money on defense is because of you. And quite frankly, this is why Rheinmetall is getting a bid. This is why some of these defense contractors are doing well. Like, we do need our European allies to pick up a little bit of money when it comes to defense spending, especially given, you know, what we saw with Russia and Ukraine over the past couple of years. So from that perspective, not a bad idea at all for them to spend more, but they are definitely giving Trump the credit, which is what Trump cares about at the end of the day. Here was Besant this morning as well, saying why the big, beautiful bill will continue to help with growth.
How are you convincing conservative members that this is not going to have a negative impact on the deficit?
I think it's through growth, and we are constraining spending and bringing that down. So the trajectory of the deficit to GDP will change.
How are you convincing conservative members?
So again, kind of the same argument. Growth is going to win versus the growth of the deficit. We're still going to increase the deficit, but the growth we have in the broader economy for GDP, I mean, I don't know if we get 4% growth. If we do, that would be kind of crazy. But the broader argument here is that any level of meaningful growth above 2.5% right here is where the market is going to see a lot of momentum. And then let's see some of that momentum as well. So that's what we got. It was a hell of a day, folks. It was a hell of a day. It's one of those days, bro. Obviously, Robinhood led it right here with 7%. AMD as well, up 7%. Grab, not horrible, up 3.95% on the day. Meta, 2%. It was just nice to see across the board everything was catching a bid, because if a ceasefire is actualized, which I think is going to take a couple weeks to see if Iran and Israel both agree to the ceasefire, like with their actions, not just their words, then I don't understand how that's bearish for stocks. It's definitely bullish for tampering down expectations in regards to geopolitical instability. But that is what we got right now. What other movers did we have today? Let's check some stats. So options, what companies had the most options traded today? All right, here we go. NVIDIA, 2.3 million contracts. Tesla, 1.8 million. AMD, 1.1 million. Apple, 700,000. Then you got Coinbase, iBit, Intel, Robinhood, 450,000. Circle, 440. Palantir, 427. Amazon, Uber, Meta, SOFI, 321. Not bad. HIMS, 287. MicroStrategy, 314. Google, Microsoft, CoreWeave, and then Big Bear AI ended up into the top 20 at 256,000 options on the day. So a lot of these stocks got some momentum in the derivatives market. Chad made fun of me yesterday on my LinkedIn post. Dude, for anyone who added me on LinkedIn, I made like a introducing myself post again. And I was like, how do I even introduce myself to all these people from college and high school that know me on LinkedIn? Like, they have most people don't know what I do. They don't know how my life is kind of turned out. They don't know that, you know, we do a live stream every day. So I was like, what do I say? And at the end of the post, I was like, now I create content and I trade derivatives in the public market. And Chad was like, you did not write that. I was like, dude, I had to sound intellectual. I had to like that. That's what LinkedIn's about, right? Like, you have to sound like you like are super cool and you know about the world and business and all this shit. And now I read it back and I was like, dude, how was I so cringe on my first post back to the platform after 5 years? Like, you would think you would like cool down on the cringe a little bit. I trade derivatives in the public market. It's like, what am I saying, bro? It's like when you start typing on a LinkedIn post, like the cringe just oozes out of you. You just have to get as cringy as you can. Shout out to Farzad. LinkedIn is the GOAT platform for insecurity. I agree. I 100% agree. Dude, I would love to go to Austin and ride in the robotaxi with Farzad. It's just my grandparents are home for the next month, so I'm probably not going to be able to make the trip out to Texas. But I will be in Austin in September to meet up with Farzad and Hans. And hopefully by then, robotaxi is available to the public and we'll all be able to do a robotaxi together. But if you guys have been keeping up with this content, it's just been incredible. I mean, it's really incredible to see it play out. And obviously the market is starting to recognize some of the value of it as well, which is why stock moved up about 10% yesterday. Dude, I don't know why Duolingo is down. Like, why did this thing have to go down after I picked it up? I think, first of all, I picked this in my ETF as my 10th pick because I thought the growth would be there. This thing is down like 10% since I picked it. Number two, I made a pretty aggressive rant yesterday on the market open about why learning Spanish for 5 years in high school was worthless. And I don't know if investors in Duolingo were listening to that, but insider selling, was it bad insider selling? Let me check. Because I'm just like, did they listen to my rant? And they were like, yeah, language learning is irrelevant, which in high school, I think it kind of is, to be honest. Like, I would rather learn about the stock market. But SEC filing, June 23rd. Okay, how much did he sell? How much did the guy sell? No, dude, it's like 20,000 shares, bro. Come on. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is barely anything. This is not enough insider selling to get the market to worry about. Apple live translation. Dude, that can't be the bear case. I'm genuinely confused. Like, is it technicals? Like, why is this thing down? Like, I really think someone listened to my rant or something. Like, I saw no downgrade, nothing. And none of the analysts can downgrade it because the growth is too good. So it's not going to get a downgrade. I didn't see anything fundamental to cause that pain. Tesla right here is down about 3% on the day. Again, had a great day yesterday, giving back a little bit of that today right now. What else? All right, I think that's pretty much it. In terms of the broader market. We looked at all these names. NVIDIA right here, 147, HIMS 42, Palantir 143, and then Hoodie 81.96 on the day. Folks, it is officially time for Technical Tuesday. For those that don't care about technical analysis, you can probably leave because the next couple hours are pretty much going through TA. If you do care, or if you're at least a little interested in male astrology, then you can hang around and we're going to have one of the best TA guys on the planet, give his take on what's going on in regards to TA. It is time to roll the intro.
What's up, bud? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. How are you?
I'm all right. I got my sound is turned down or something. Say that. I think I can hear you better. Testing. There he is.
What
Check,
a
check.
day.
What a day. What a week. What a market, man. What a market. What a time to be alive, brother. What a time. You know what's funny? You got my voice is always like cracking or like whatever. People give me a hard time. And I think I figured it out today because I was sitting here in the server and I caught myself. And I think I figured out why, because I was screaming at the top of my lungs in the dark room all by myself. Just like, ah! Like literally at the top of my lungs. Dude, good stuff, man. How you guys doing?
Well, I think let's get started with TA. I think first of all, everyone loves Asian Steve. So,
dude, apparently that guy's pretty good. Whoever he is, though, I mean, props.
Let's start off. We've never started off with Hoodie, but I think today is the day we're ever going to start off with a stock. We're starting off with Hoodie.
With Hoodie?
This is like remarkable what we are seeing right here. But we get it. Like, it also makes sense. And so I'm very curious from a TA perspective, what price targets you're thinking and how you would play the momentum that we're seeing right now.
Okay, so Hoodie. By the way, I was really trying to get Amit, you guys, to give me a shot clock. And, you know, he didn't. So I was really hoping we would have a shot clock on timer countdown, but no shot clock today. So I'll do my best.
We talked about the idea last week. I wasn't able to do it this week, but I think it would be really cool if we have like a 5-minute kind of shot clock on every stock. That would also help us like make it really efficient. But
because I have really bad ADD and he's like, it's hard. So,
and it would be fun too, because you have 5 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever it is, to get your thoughts out there, and then we just move on. So we're gonna try.
I don't hate it. I kind of love it. I think the chat might like it too, but because it would be funny actually. So all-time high is 85s, give or take, right? This little wiki wick. I do have that on the bingo card for sure. But we've been tracking this little consolidation right here from this, whatever this is, this little wick here to there, this consolidation zone. This box, I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, this is from this consolidation area here. That's an extension. So from this swing high to that swing low, from this breakout, which was at 66, 50% extension of that box. Let me see if I can get some of this out of here. Is actually going to line up as well, right around just under 85. So 84.67. If I take this box and give it the same little tuning, we're going to land just about 86.67. Inside of here, there was what we would call like a point of control, about the halfway point. And we did get that just recently. And so that is just I think it was Monday. We had that 50%, just about 74.47, which lines up right here. So we had about a halfway pullback to Monday. You can actually just kind of look at this right here and see where that 74.77 area was actually inside of that box, was acting as kind of that like small midterm pivot, resistance, support, breaks out, kind of pops, but not able to get out of the consolidation, the broader consolidation. I guess this, like, call it 10-day, 2-week balance, give or take. Then Mondays kind of pull back into that zone here. Today we get a little continuation. We are officially out of the box as of today. So yeah, to your point, it is accurate to consider this an active breakout now. This morning's small little pullback, check that out. Beautiful little retest at the top of the box. So yeah, to your question, it is important to look at this here and now. We are in an active breakout as of today. Can it come back and still be an active breakout? Absolutely. But here, this is triggered. One day does not make a trend, but we should expect this to continue on to the upside with a trajectory into the 93s, 92.70s.
What would be the pullback range that would still make it an active breakout that you think people could theoretically buy on a dip?
Any higher low, as honestly, down to that 77 is still active. So as long as it's inside this, like still thoroughly active, it can come down to 78s. That doesn't have to. Basically, today's low is 76.84. So it could get that low. It might feel a little discouraging if you saw that, but just know that anything above 76.84 from a trend count perspective is still a higher low from a daily time frame, from a daily in like day to day. So even if this is all the way down here, as long as your next move is a higher high, that's all you're looking at. And when I say trend count, you're just looking for higher highs and higher lows. So it could be choppy, but if the chop looks like that, it doesn't really matter, does it? So that's my point.
Right.
Stocks don't make a straight line, although as much as we would love to, we'd love for them to look like, oh, it's just going straight to 93. That's great. But from here, that was a great look at 80. So for me, I guess, were you asking how am I trading it, or?
No, just in general, I know you're long equity. In general, I just want to know if we do get a dip, the range is around that 75, where you think it makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is full blown active for us. I say us in this, in our server. We've had this trade planned for a while. It did trigger already. So initially it was $80 weekly calls. We've been in $100 leaps already for a while from an options perspective, obviously equity, but we've levered up multiple times. We definitely triggered another lever up moment. Where we are in the market as a whole, though, it's press on the short dated optionality because we are still very headline driven. It's all about minimal capital exposure with maximum market destruction, if you will. Because if they're gonna go, they're gonna go. But if we get the wrong headline at the same time, headlines will supersede your price action. And I don't want to over allocate with long dated new money and then get shellacked overnight. If I'm going to get it right, we're going to get it right. And it doesn't matter what expiration you're on. It's going to go. And trajectory here is clearly it's 85 near term, as in if this goes, it should be 85 by Friday, if not higher by Friday, into 93s.
All right, last question on Hood, and then we'll move on. Is the RSI divergence in the weekly chart concerning to you?
Shut the up, bro.
What is the question? Someone asked, yes or no?
Dude, delete that.
Okay,
this is that's a troll.
Is RSI divergence not something people should look at?
No. Okay, so divergence.
Why does it matter? Why does it not matter?
Weekly divergence, not really. I mean, dude, so for a weekly divergence to play out, like, dude, first of all, weekly divergence can take months to play. There's no RS. What are they talking about?
I'm just the messenger. That's all.
Okay, well, the question is inaccurate. There's no divergence.
Explain divergence to everyone. It's a breaking of a trend to an extent, right?
No, it's when, okay, so I guess divergence would be like, in this case, so what he's saying is like the stock is making new highs, but RSI is not making new highs. in this case, this is bullish divergence.
Okay.
Not necessarily bearish divergence, because RSI has gone higher. So the RSI is down here. If you want me to actually explain this, we're going to go way over.
We don't have to go that deep, but I know you don't even like RSI that much.
No, it's fine. The divergence is real. But if you want me to answer the question, it requires more time. This is RSI, right? 86 is high, right? So see here, we're 86. And if I match it up at 86, this is a weekly chart. At 86, you have a high on the chart and you have a high on the RSI. So here you have a new high on the chart, but you do not have a new high on RSI. Right. So that's the divergence that they're referencing. Because of this, we know that the RSI can go higher, but because the chart is not at all-time highs, or the chart is at all-time highs, but the RSI is not, this is bullish to me, meaning that RSI, we know, can continue to go higher to 86. And in this instance, that's anything but concerning.
Right.
So no, that's more bullish than bearish. Bullish divergence here would be like, okay, the stock making new lows, but anyways.
Okay, let's do the next one that we usually don't do second up, but I think we got to, because I mean, it's a hell of a day. AMD. What are you looking at for this? And you're still long this, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
115 on this one.
I have not trimmed, period. I mean, stay the course. So no change from last perspective. It's on its way. The target is 170, as stated previously. This is acting exactly as it should, as stated previously. Dude, you're good. So prior broken downtrend, breakout, retest. You know, it would have been nice to have like not had that smack at the 200-day here, but that's all good. It's a beautiful 2025. Is it 2025? Retest of support, or was resistance acting as support. Kablamo straight through the 200-day. And here now, yeah, it took a little bit because of the non-believers, advanced money destroyer, or whatever, but not so much anymore, is it? So all of a sudden, they're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. So 140 is going to be a little bit of a level, but quite frankly, yeah, I mean, I don't see this. I don't think I'm going to be taking profit here either. I want to see if this has legs. So not trimming, maybe, depending on if it get too hot by Friday. I think we get to 140. I legit have 177. Legit. There's this one little blip in the radar right here that might be a little slight concern that I may take a little bit of profit first. That's going to be 163. So I will probably take my real trims right around that 163. But for it to stall out here, I think at this point you begin to spread off some volatility later on over this weekend. But yeah, this is going as planned.
Okay. Let's continue the trend of some names that we usually don't do first, because we do have some good ones here. This one I'm going to ask you, but I don't know if you want to do it. Micron, they have earnings tomorrow. I don't know if it's worth it. What?
I think it was an 8.5% average move. It's made a huge move already. Does
the chart tell you that if they miss on any of the metrics, it's priced to perfection already? The chart's already had.
Oh no, I can't assume that at all. It's not de-risked at all. Sorry. But it would be like back to 115s or lower, or but no, I cannot give you a direction here.
8% move, yeah.
Yeah, or 130. 140s, give or take. It's priced to perfection. This is a no touch. I'm not even thinking about it. I honestly, I could care less about Micron. I think it's a complete distraction to try and even think about trading this, quite frankly.
I agree.
There's so many better opportunities. Yeah, it's a very difficult spot here.
Okay, last one that is a little bit different than what we always do, and then we'll get into the Teslas and videos. SOFI. What do you think about this one?
No. So per the last conversation, exactly what we are. Bearish to bullish, right? 50-day death cross, 20 death cross to golden cross. We're there. This is happening. I think you're good. Stay the course. So this guy is looking much better. So this was the broadening formation that we have had highlighted for a minute. We're over that 50, like the halfway point. Sorry, might not have been on this chart. So this is the halfway point. I think we're here. So here is the halfway point, but by all accounts for me, look, after we had the FOMC conference and you didn't get your rate cut, people thought I've never been in this rate cut camp like you. I think I've not been in the rate cut camp at all. Honestly, if we had gotten a rate cut, I would have been probably pretty bearish. But the fact that we didn't, I think you can easily look at it this way. We are that much closer to getting a rate cut now. So now that's a little bit more bullish. Here we are at the halfway point, and right at that point of control here. I think you go any higher, it's like you're on. And so your target 20 to 25 by the end of the year, every time we get a little bit closer to that rate cut, this is going to trade like a bank. The banks, by the way, are doing pretty good. I believe the results of their stress tests come at the end of the week.
Yeah.
But so net, you're looking at 1675 in this first blip here. So you undercut that last high just slightly. You have what we call like a little fair value, 1685. And then a couple little inefficiencies in the market, 1780. So 1680, 1780. Those are your two kind of pivots. But quite frankly, you probably overshoot all of this. You probably overshoot all of this if you do get the move and you get to the top of this broadening formation, which is to where you were looking at in the 20s, mid 20s. If this can continue, but it first has to break through that point of control from this consolidation here.
Okay, next up, Tassie, up 10% yesterday, down 2% today. What are you thinking?
So Tesla, you gotta understand Tesla, how it trades, its personality. Tesla is kind of like the inverse market stock. When it really goes, nothing else in the market can go. Just know that. That's the personality of Tesla. When the market is going, Tesla really can't get its act together. That's just how it is. But that said, I think we did have a huge move the other day. A pullback like this should be expected. What we are dealing with here is that any higher low from this point is going to be good. The thing is that we've actually come right back into this consolidation area. I haven't looked at this yet, but I do think that we should start too soon. I like that 334.72. So 334.72, maybe a little bit lower, 333. So it's coming in soon. So this area here that was support. This is going to be a trade very soon, dude. Again, well, we just had a trade. The crew and I just absolutely clean house on Tesla. This is like one of the, just wreck. But this is what I'm going to look for. So if we see a little bit of a wick down here on Tessie, it's probably going to line up to that 20-day, which is that white line here. It's not going to be just because it's there. It may or may not happen right away. So this is one where you absolutely need to have a plan ahead I can't tell you, oh, you can go long Tesla tomorrow. It doesn't work like that, right? But you can get a little wick down below. And quite frankly, what it'll probably look like is that break below. And, the day that I spent a lot of time discussing how Tesla's set up in here, you're going to need to see, ideally, you would like to see another 2-day balance or setup that was like this over here in this area. So if you can get something like that over here, which for lack of a better term, I think I could call it a failed breakdown, where the stock looks like it's about to break down, but then it saves itself at the last second. That's the day you hammer. And that would look a little something like this, with a small little liquidity grab at the lows and then slight pop up, but failure to continue down lower the second day. That might play out as a week 2, maybe next week, maybe at the close of this week, but it's very likely to play out right around this 334 level, almost 100%. Whether or not that's here now or whether or not that's coming way later and it actually breaches and then comes back up, I don't know. That's what I don't know, right? Because it could look something like that, but the trigger is going to be at that 334. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to step in right here only to have it completely flush on me. It's going to be at 334, but whether or not it's like here or later, I don't know. So you have to wait for the setup. You have to plan it. And when you get your, what we call trigger, then you go.
Okay. Next one, before we do HIMS, Google. Anything you're seeing on this one?
Yeah, it's in the planning stages right now. So Google, very much like, so the, before you do a timestamp on Google, can I do market commentary or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is not about Google. So no timestamp on Google, maybe make it market commentary. But in general, when we talk about the market scenario, market melt up right now, it's market cap melt up is what it is, right? And so we're going to go, it's going to be like this. I think the market as a whole is probably caught off sides a bit. If you look at the indices, the war, it's very real, whatever. But what's very crystal clear to me and to most traders, or to traders at this point, is that it was actually priced in. And so while things were happening, you would have expected Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, when the futures opened after attacks were actually launched, you would have really expected to see more than 0.5% down on the futures, right? Sunday afternoon. Didn't happen. The reason that didn't happen is because it's priced in. The market actually expected it, right? They were already hedged. And if for whatever reason things end sooner than expected, I think Amit might actually have the numbers on this. I think that overall they were about 4% short on the S&P 500, like across the board. That's huge. That's big.
Yeah.
So just understand that dynamic. That is the dynamic that we're in. The way this is going to work is that it's going to start from a money migration. Small caps probably done. It's going to be mid cap growth, and then it's going to melt up by market cap, which means that the large cap stuff is probably going to go later, right? Which means that Google, Amazon, Apple, et cetera, is going to go later. Microsoft has been untouchable for a very long time, and Meta is just trudging along, doing its thing, but it's not breaking out. In the meantime, you're going to get your Robinhood, your Rocket Lab, a lot of these mid-cap growth companies just going boom, 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 left and right, Coinbase, Circle, whatever. And if you're able to focus in the right places at the right time, you can strategically make surgical attacks and make a lot of money. But if you waste time focusing on the wrong stuff, you're going to waste a lot of money, and you're going to be very distracted, and you're going to miss everything else. And by the time your trade finally comes along, you're probably going to be overly frustrated and likely out of money because you've taken so many shots that you're going to be so frustrated. And then you're going to look back and you'll be like, I've stopped out 5 times. And then you'll be like, I should have held. Unfortunately, that's when it's going to go. So Google is in a setup phase. It is, later date, right? So it's market cap is very large market cap. So the way that these things start, and
by the way, real quick before you keep going, I just got a text from actual Steve, not Asian Steve. And he said he is officially becoming a Robinhood user and he is moving his crypto from Coinbase to Robinhood for the 1% match, folks.
nice.
That's happening.
Before I get, so that was market commentary. Can I pick a ticker, Amit, before I go into Google and do it as a case study to show you the setup? So that ticker is going to be Coinbase.
Dude, so, I don't know what happened today, but this was incredible.
Well, my point is case study Coinbase. This should come from a technical Tuesday not too long ago. And if you remember, if Savage is here, one of your listeners, Savage, kindly posted a super chat, and it was Coinbase, who's like one of our students, mastermind student. We follow this very closely, and this is when it all kind of came together. And the idea, what he said was, this is Wyckoff. We call this is distributionary, right? This is distribution. And so when we look at something like this, distribution, and when we talked about it on Technical Tuesday, it was like, look, typically this is pretty bearish, right? And the lines that I drew was like, okay, you want to see this kind of full breakdown like this, retest, and then I would take a trade up here, but I didn't. But I said I don't want to diddle like in the middle, essentially, at all, because if I took this here now, and what I said that day, this is like, I don't know how long ago that was. This was early June. I think it was here that we're looking at. So I was like, if I took it, I could get my face smashed in, because if the bulls that were taking it long over here decided that they still want it, they could easily just go boom, and then I could just be like kablam. And so in this instance, I would actually trade either one, right? And I would take a trade either here or here. And then as this plays out, what happens, and the case study here on Coinbase is what I'm going to define now as a failed breakdown, right? So you have clear consolidation sideways. This is a pre-market candle. This is a very crystal clear breakdown. And so what we're talking about here is a failure to break down, and then early, right? Similar as Tesla. That day, it's like kaboom. It pre-market breakdown, same day. This is same day. You're like slap, right? So like if you thought it was breaking down that morning, oh, you were hosed. And instantly, it's when you have a failure to break down very quickly, you'll get some very, very early reversals. When you see this setup, and there are some that are happening right now in the large cap, this moment, when you get that little liquidity grab to the lows, there are some mega caps that are happening right now. They're in this phase. The smaller caps right now, and that's why I'm even talking about this, are already playing this out in Coinbase very quickly, is that full extension, right? You don't even get that second shot until you're way over here, right? And now we're talking about Coinbase looking at all-time highs very, very soon, right? Which, by the way, we're in.
Are you saying Google could do a Coinbase?
I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. So my point is, watch for this, right? Watch for that failed breakdown. And so and don't sign off, but also premature allocation, very real, right? So you have to plan your trades out. If you put it out there too early, but what is this? What is this setup? So it's in the planning phase, right? You see it. You're starting to see it. I don't know. Do you guys think I don't even know if he sees it or not. But this looks like a pretty
chapter on YouTube. That's all.
Okay.
By the way, guys, Jason's Twitter right there in the chat if anyone wants to follow him.
So this looks like a pretty, I mean, first of all, 73, that's not, but a long time ago, I did say, hey, look, we saw them go home with Google. So quite frankly, to me, I know that I believe they still own this. So I don't think that they've actually left her out to dry. I think they're just biding their time and ready to pounce. And I think this is the setup. So when I said the large caps, the market is fickle, the market is fast. And so while you might think that this is left for dead, I wouldn't sign off so quickly. So right here, right now, this is very much that so this is March 2025, what we're going to call resistance or support turned resistance. And so, no, I'm not a Google fanboy. Yeah, I have taken a shot already on Google, but I'm getting ready to take another shot. This is it. So this
is Coinbase at like 285-ish, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt, mind you, it's a bigger market cap, so it can't move the same way that Coinbase can move. It just cannot, right? It's just not possible. So, and it's going to be later cycle because of that. So the mid cap growth stocks, those need to exhaust, and the market needs to be like, oh, these are too lofty for me to even be interested anymore. And then they're going to go over to Google. So it might go sideways for a while. But yesterday, this is Monday, today's Tuesday. Yesterday, this was going down. So this is Friday's close. Here's that blue line is the 50-day. Friday's close or Friday's open actually looks kind of constructive. Actually took a shot here, pretty quickly failed. Today is day 2. You're like instantly back over. So for the week now, even though Google looks kind of gross in this setup, opening today, Google for the week is actually green. And as long as Google stays over 165 this week, it's technically green because it's not going lower anymore. In my mind, I think from your whatever your stats, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And it's going to show up. It's going to show a full percent green today, even though we know it's way down lower. So from here, it's not going to take much to start flipping this. So it is a big watch. I'd say 168.23. And let me see if I can get this. So I do want to average this out. But this is a big setup. So that is why anyways, net, if this goes, I think it's mid-July, right? This yellow line is, I think this is a quarterly level. No, monthly level. So you're actually green on you're not red on the month anymore. You're green on the week. If you're over 168, you're good. Just to get back to last week's highs, you're 173. If you're over 173, well, we know we're definitely going back to 177, and you're back over the 200-day, and it's like boom. So right now, you're going to probably play what we call simple moving average ping pong, where you've lost the 20, you go to the 50, you reclaim the 50, you can do this right back to the 20, and that could be your trajectory to reclaim straight through the 200, which is this red line. And that's how that begins. But right now, this is the setup, and this could be very quickly back into the 185s before you know it.
And
but
I mean, LC would have a shot of being right by the end of the year.
Yeah. Or, you could just buy some, July 180 calls and be like, you know what, I'm going to make 10x Kathy and whatever.
Yeah.
For $100 and close those for 1,000. That's also an option.
Two potentially could be bearish on search, but I mean, that's fundamentals at that point.
Yeah, no, but my example there's, I think those 180 calls for Google for July, that is an example. Like maybe they're $100 today. Maybe they're not even that. Oh no, those July, they're $60. No, they're $80. But like, that's the type of surgical strike that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going out and spending January 2026 185 calls.
Right.
Because the thing is, like, where we are, this is a market melt up squeeze. It's not long time. It's good time, right? Like, it's a squeeze is not forever. And then I can use that to deploy later. Maybe it's August, whatever. I want to capture some convexity. It's not even August. It's sub 45 days to me, but it's not too far out of the money. Like it's within reason. It's just basically back to that breakout and breakdown, basically back to the last breakdown area here. And if we get that convexity, well, then I'm going to be in them. I want to be in the money by the time I'm before halfway to expiration, and then we'll see. Yeah. But that is not deploying a lot of, it's minimal capital exposure, maximum market destruction right here. Because again, one headline, the wrong headline, poof, right? It's like we were texting. It's like I'm SEAL Team 6, your capital SEAL Team 6. I want as minimal casualties as possible in this environment, because the wrong move, and it's like you step on an IED explosion and like poof, money gone. So I don't want to have a huge allocation.
Okay, I want to, before we do HIMS, I want to do a quick one that should take us like less than 2 minutes. Circle. I don't think anyone's interested in buying this, but from a TA perspective, do you think this thing heads back to 100, or how are you looking at it?
No, so like, look, I took my short, and then like when you asked me right after, it was, the question was like, so when I took the short, you know, what we talked about, do you know I took a long?
Did I go long on Circle?
No, do you know that I did?
Oh, no, I actually don't know you shorted this.
No, do you know I went long?
What?
No.
What are you saying?
Did you know I went long?
Oh, you went long. No, I didn't. You didn't text me that. You don't text me anymore, so I don't know.
You don't have me on, you don't have my, oops. You don't have my noties on. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Why does he not have my noties on?
You went long Circle, huh? What is this? $200 calls?
2,863% runners.
Wow. Little gambler here, huh?
Nah. But so anyway, so this was, so we were looking at this. So like it was that quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days, but this was below 108. This was on technical. So this is what happens. Like if you're paying attention to what we're doing, like I might plan out trades live here, but if you listen closely, a lot of times I actually put a plan together, but they don't trigger that day. And if you can figure it out, then you can figure it out. But it needed to be, so the rejection spot 108.38, it needed to really get below that day one trade 103.56. And then if it did get below 103.56, then I could have a quick move into that 80, but it never really got there. So it tried, and then it could never get below that day one. Day two instantly poof back over, although not over day two high, right back in here. But this moment, nah, it held. So we know it's no good. It was so that was my exit. I didn't go long this day, but at this point, I know I have a balance zone here. And so here I have to measure, okay, here's an extension. And then I have a 2-day balance zone here, right? And so it was this day when I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh crap. And then we were on a space, and as this was breaking 164, I'm like, uh-oh, we have this measured move that would take us to 175, 185, possibly 213s to double this measured move. This was stupid. It was the craziest trade ever. And then you have confluence here, so you could do just this consolidation, which is what we do here. And I have confluence here, 177s into 190s, into that same kind of 203, 205 area. Anyways, at this point here, it was like 165. I was like, you know what? Screw it. We go 200 calls at $100. I'm thinking 20 lots, but it's crazy strike. Weeklies, I don't want to do a lot, so we go 10 lots, so 10 contracts, that's $1,000, whatever. And I'm like, I'll just put an order into close at like 250, a couple of them, and then we pretty quickly get to like 250, and like, all right, we'll do somewhere at like 550 close 550, and then it get like, I'm not closing. And then we leave the rest. I just two runners gets to like, whatever that was, some stupid amount, 60. So $3,300. Poof.
Not bad. I mean, it's had a hell of a run, and obviously it's.
But that was the full move, right? So the measured move was that's 3x the consolidation. So this consolidation. So meaning like this first consolidation here. So 1, 2, 3, basically get you there. And so because you weren't able to hold that 287, then you should get to 271. It's not holding 250. Then you're just right now, it looks like about 213, which is exactly where it held today.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think you can short it like excessively. Anybody, so it's because it's still, the thing is, what I found out very quickly, dude, is that number one, the option chain honestly cannot price volatility accurately here. So
yeah,
for me,
as well.
Yeah, it just can't, because it hasn't even been around long enough. And number two, it was just like, it's so unavailable to short. Like I just
gotta move on to HIMS.
Move on.
This one, and then we'll do UNH after.
Okay, which one?
HIMS.
So HIMS is it's kind of, so it's weird. It's at the spot. So 42 was the spot, is a spot. So 42 is, so first of all, there's one. So 35 is the nasty level. 42 is, this is one. Where's 42 coming from? Get a couple. What was that breakdown from? Here. Okay. So 50% from this swing high. So where was I measuring from? Must have been from a different one. It might have been from this, one of these two breakouts.
Was there any TA you were looking at that said this was ready to come back down, or was this all the Novo partnership that forced this?
Actually, no, it just wasn't ready to go up yet. So it was ready to go up to here, but there was still a couple challenge spots. It was not ready to go down. No, it was, TA did not tell me it was ready to go down. There was that battle zone right in the middle here that we were talking about. And actually at a certain point, the bulls did win right here. And so it was going up. It was on its way up here, but it still had some work to do. So it wasn't out of the woods yet. It was trying to, but it wasn't completely. So the woods would have been over 68. So if it had gotten beyond that, then we would have had another tradable area to here. But because we still had this traffic zone, essentially it wasn't like blue skies. It was still kind of trafficy. But then you get this headline. It's like kaboom. But so from here, this is a 50% retracement from, I think there's some headline over here, some breakout that I was measuring at 30, give or take, from this breakout here. I don't know that I would run exactly with this. This is a low float, so I would give it some leeway. And then you're retesting about 30. I had 42, 41 and change. And this is this small cap. Right now, it's day one. So this is intraday day one. Almost like we're talking about Google. We're like, if it was going to continue down, you would have seen this today. Like you would have seen continuation to the downside. And you did not, right? So you saw a little bit in the post-market yesterday. And today you saw pre-market buyer step in, intraday buyer step in, failure to continue downside today. Doesn't mean it's gonna go up tomorrow at all, but I think you can watch it. So what has to happen here, and if you're gonna look at UNH, you have to do this. It's gonna be the same exact setup. So zoom in, maybe even a little bit tighter than this, and you look at yesterday's kind of pivots. So for me, it's still going to be this 46 here. So this might even bounce to like 45 plus, but I don't think you're going to be out of the weeds. 46.31. I'm going to call this break structure. I'm actually going to put an alert here. So I would watch this. 46.31. You have a big congestion area. What I need to see here is it's not, I don't want to jump the gun here because remember, there's a lot of setups here. I think this can get very distracting. I need to see something more like this up here, and then I'll consider it, but I'm not going to get excited about it. If you like the company, then buy the stock and sit on it. That's what I would say. And that's what you have to look for. Even at this point, you should see some pullbacks, and you're going to want to see that continuation in terms of structure, higher structure, like series of higher highs and higher lows. But you need to see that continue. You will hit your head, even if you get that bounce in that 55 level where that prior buyers will step in here. They're going to get a second shot at some point. They're going to get to think about whether or not they want to keep their purchase. So expect that to come back down, and then see if they were going to want to decide to keep it. So even if you get this bounce, right? Even if you get that bounce, that's not going to be out of the weeds. Like you're just not going to be out of the weeds. Like even if you get this, right? You're going to get that for sure. So like you have a lot of work to do over here. So this is going to be squeezy unless a headline emerges that changes the whole storyline. Because if you do get a pop, it's not going to 60. It's not, right?
I agree.
Because whoever was buying here, they're going to get a decision. Namely, this person his name is Amit. When it gets back to his cost basis, he's going to have to decide, do I want to exit stage left with no loss, break even? Or do I want to hodl for dear life? Or do I want to buy more? And that's going to show up like if he decides that he's going to buy more, you know, Amit's going to move the price action, and he's going to make it look a little bit like that. But that's what you're going to have to see.
Yeah. Okay. UNH.
Waste of time. Definitively. This is not a trading stock. This is an investing stock. It's going nowhere. You have risk. This is a distraction from a trader's perspective. Should not be on the show. I need to veto this ticker immediately. I love you guys, but this is not a trading vehicle. This is an investment vehicle. It's a dividend play. By the way, new CEO he's got carte blanche. You don't know what's going to happen. If you like UNH, you like it long time. You don't like it short time. I don't know what you're doing trying to trade this near dated anymore. It's not happening, right? But you have short-term risks. If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. That's the thing. And the fact that it's not, guess what? It's not. So don't waste your time. You're missing out on other opportunities. The risk would be they're still under Medicare investigation. The risk would be the dividend gets pulled because they need to make other changes to the business and they want to use the capital to do other things, maybe fix some other stuff. That's a real risk. If that happens, then you're low 200s. And what's the upside here? Good God, I have no idea. What would have to change? Dude, actually, I cannot think of an immediate bull case here.
Okay.
Well, I'm really struggling. What is the immediate bull case?
Well, we can move on because you don't want to do it anyway. So okay.
No, but like, I don't hate this at all, but I think that you should be, I bought this, but it's not a trade. This would be more investment grade.
I bought spreads on it yesterday for 2.5 years out. So I agree with you. There is no TA to do in the short term.
Yeah. The TA is sideways right now. It's over the 200-day, but it's choppy. You got a little pop here, but that's a dividend play. Dividend run. Stocks do that. Dividend paid out, came back down. You should not be surprised.
NVIDIA. What are we doing with this one?
It's large cap. It's grindy. Actually, out of the box. But my commentary was real. So I think this is later stage. And UNH doesn't really fit the bill. It's not mid-cap growth. It's not large cap growth. At least it is large cap growth.
Bullish today?
Huh?
I mean, breaking over 157, did you see that as closer to 150?
I mean, so like
Better to get there?
Yeah, I think you get this. So you're here, but it still can be choppy, right? So like it's a good day. It's a great day for NVIDIA. I don't think it's going anywhere, right? But you're still, so I think you get another day. What is that? 149.77. 149.77. And then you might get another, so I think you get another full day. Like this. I legit think you get another full day. And then, so you get like, you know, have you ever heard the term three white soldiers? No.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No.
So it's a technical setup. So you get another day, and then you probably get another day. And that day ends up being a little bit smaller. Might even look like that. And it might even hit that. Kablam. Then we'll be like all-time high. Maybe this is Friday. No, this is Thursday. 153 by Thursday. Can you see it?
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty fun. I feel like we need CPI for this to really blast off.
Well, no, so PCE. So it's like this. It's like this. So you're gonna get Wednesday. Are you guys, should I do them dirty or should I do them good? Should I be nice or should I be mean? I don't know. What does the chat say?
What do you mean?
All right. So this is gonna be Wednesday. No. So today's Tuesday. This is gonna be Thursday. And then you're gonna get PCE, and that's gonna be Friday.
Well, PC should be good though.
Why?
If it's good, do the opposite. Give us 170 or 150.
No, it's all the run up before right now. He did him dirty. He did him dirty, guys. Why did he? I'm just being honest.
Well, there you go.
I love you a long time. But no, you're not blue skies yet, but you are very likely going into this. You know, last time when you were there, you got a big candle. I don't know what that was, but there was a big one right there. What's that about? What's that $15 candle?
That was, wait, what date is that?
I don't know. January 7th.
That's DeepSeek.
Oh,
well,
that's a good one.
No,
that's a good one.
It was January 20th, but still.
Okay. No, I have no idea, but I have no idea what's happening. But this, I'm playing, guys. Stop it. But this looks like it's going in that trajectory. And you probably get to that one. It might even hit its head a little bit. I do think we are running into the PCE. And if we do, let's say even he does get that, you do get that move, and you do get a big nasty day pullback. If that pullback holds 150, that's actually pretty constructive. If you get like what feels like a blow off top, and if that blow off top holds, which I think this is going to be the setup, I do. So, which is why I'm very short dated. Press the bet short dated, but not too much, because I think it'll come back pretty hot, pretty heavy with the blink of an eye. And as long as that pullback is a higher low, that's all good.
By the way, Chris in the chat says UNH is meta in 2022.
Yeah, but dude, this is technical Tuesday. We're week to week, at most month to month.
No, I agree.
Meta in 2022 took like 6 months to play out before it even started.
I agree. I don't think you're wrong. Okay. Palantir. Just all-time highs.
I did say, Chris, I bought it, but I'm also, if I see 220, I'll buy it again. Almost all-time highs, but this is a good setup. This is actually very similar Ooh. Mm, I likey. I'm very unprofessional on your show, dude. I'm so sorry.
Oh, dude, that's why people like you. You're Asian Steve.
Am I?
Yes, and Steve has his own quirks. And again, for those that don't know, Steve, he's coming over to Robinhood. He's bringing over his crypto from Coinbase based on that 1% match.
Yeah. Does anybody know? Does anybody know Vlad in the chat, or have a direct line to Vlad? Because I have a very real request. It's very serious.
Dude, honestly, you don't even need his number. You can tweet at him. He will see it, bro. He sees everything. So if he responded to one of your tweets before, I think, about you saying something.
Kind of, sort of, but like, look, I know that it doesn't make sense for Vlad to really put a lot of effort into these event contracts. I know it, but it's free money. But you really need to step your game up, guys. Robinhood team. And I know it's not Vlad, but what are we doing here? Why are we doing Nathan's hot dog eating contests? I don't need that. We're out of sports. We're on a mission to turn $1 into $1 million. I have no events coming. There's 13 baseball games a day right now, and Hoodie doesn't have a single one of them. There's UFC. I got nothing.
Wait, does Kalshi have baseball games? Because it's up to Kalshi, to be honest.
Absolutely, it does. And so Kalshi's about to get a big fat W on my little Robinhood account here pretty soon. So,
all right, now you're at 143. How are you thinking of this one right now?
Jason Degen. I would only be a Degen if I was losing money, but we ain't doing that. So step by step, bit by bit, trudging away, chipping away. Look at this, man. Can you believe it? Can you really believe it? It's a grinder. How are those cover calls doing? I'm just genuinely curious on this, because at this point, the grind is slower. I would assume that cover calls are good. This is the trajectory of a good covered call stock now.
100%. Especially. I said, especially at these levels, like we have a lot of people in the chat writing 145s, 150s. And
yeah. This is what a good covered call stock trajectory actually looks like. And so this does look like, so market's going to hit all-time highs. This does look like 155s for next week is en route. This is high and tight. Those SMAs are getting a little bit tighter. The 50 and the 20, the distance between the 50 and 20 right here. Those. So it's the pops are getting smaller, but it's about 150. I wouldn't put it past Palantir to see 50 on the Friday, but I also could easily sell some 150 calls because it wouldn't necessarily hold it. But this is going to be maximum 153 next week. Possibly. What is this from?
Again, this is if the trend continues, right? Because getting above 145 all-time highs is also not easy.
So this is just this base consolidation, which is 8 days. Yeah. So by next week, that consolidation trajectory is like 153. So it's like 153 next week. 150 to 153 next week. Yeah. And if like something crazy, 160s by like end of July. But yeah, it's good God. It's holding again. That's just that little 1 week consolidation zone. So as long as it's 138, that's kind of been that pivot for that 1 week consolidation. It's just another breakout, little retest, doing pretty well. Even if I took this, it's a small consolidation. Let's be real, right? So it's not a big thing. But even again, from a trend count perspective, higher highs, retesting that prior high here. This is constructive. All of this, every time you make a new high, those lows are tracking, right? Those low, even every time Palantir has made a new high. The next low is right over that prior high. Look at that, right? That's crazy. So that is what you want to see. That's constructive. And so if it goes, then you're going to be looking at 145 support later. 145 support later. Could you imagine 150 support?
I mean, dude, I think the dip to 120, if there ever is that dip, that gets bought. Like, this is the nature of the market we're in. And yeah, 150 support would be incredible. Absolutely.
2026, 7.
Okay. Next one right here is Amazon. What are you thinking about this one?
Mega cap is later stage, right? So this is building. So this is the setup. So there are two setups. The first setup is the failed breakdown setup. The second setup is that you do want to pay attention to is the breakout setup. And this is more or less the breakup setup. It's very high, very tight setup at a very critical spot. If we go back, I could do case study number 2. Savage is not here, but we talked about a stock, a little finance stock called JP Morgan. Side note, that same Technical Tuesday that I think he mentioned that JP Morgan 275 calls reviewed on Technical Tuesday, $35 to $375. I don't know. That's a 1,000%. But this is the definition of high and tight. So, and you're also looking for, so your simple moving averages, this is your 20-day. It's got some work to do, 200-day. This is fine. I think this continues to get tighter and tighter. So some work to do. Looks like it probably bangs its head up against this 215 level. It's about 215. So not quite ready, but absolutely on watch. So see this breakdown here? That's 215.
Right.
Like I said, I think mega caps is going to be later stage. So later stage, today is 624. It's not this week. It's not next week. It's probably the week after that. So 2 Technical Tuesdays from now, post July 4th. Or at most next week, at earliest next week, but not this week, but soon, very soon. So maybe it's a next week thing at the earliest, but what you're going to want to see. So this is right now, 1, 2, we're going to want to see a third shot and probably a fail, in which case that third fail is a bigger fail. And then the fourth attempt is going to go.
And you got the Bezos wall at 220, 230, probably waiting as well. So
I don't know, but right now I'll tell you what, it looks like it's 215.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 215. Right? That's what it looks like.
Okay,
I don't actually know.
This one, 7% on the Waymo partnership. How are you thinking about Uber?
Is that why it moved so much today?
Yeah, Waymo's coming to Atlanta.
It was a crazy technical squeeze. So I took a shot on it for a continuation today. I think that this one, it was a setup anyways. This is weird. It's so crazy how technicals just constantly line up with news. I mean, I don't know what it is, but technicals always line up with news. It's just mind-blowing every single time. So this was the breakout, right? This was the prior breakout. This was the big spot that it needed to go over. Check this out though, man. Like, I mean, does it get any more perfect? Like, if that is the all-time high, and so you're telling me that magically news happens right here? Or when?
It was, yeah, as you can see, it was flat for the past month, and then the Waymo news.
Oh, was it in the pre-market today?
Yeah, literally.
Or was it yesterday?
No, today, this morning.
Okay, so, well, the technical retracement, 82. I did not get 82, but the technical retracement was 82. You actually got once, twice. Here of this spot, I didn't get it. I saw it. if this is your consolidation, the news happens to hit, and here's your 20-day. I mean, how does it happen like that? You know, I swear, like the media crew or whoever, these HR teams must be super in tune with technicals. So for news to hit, literally, you're telling me after a clean retest, break of a crystal clear downtrend, retesting that prior breakout as the simple moving averages are squeezing, like you're telling me that news hits the wire at the absolute picture perfect time of a technical breakout. Like I don't understand, but this is why technicals are technicals. But that's what happened. Yeah. Jay Merch, did he put it in Discord last night? There you go. All right. Yeah, so this is picture perfect technicals lining up with news. I think so today. So what we have today is weird. So you have a what we call a fair value gap, and it actually filled today. So a small market inefficiency right here that did fill. The fact that it filled and it didn't get like an immediate reaction is actually pretty bullish to me. So I think that you go ahead and stay the course here. I believe that it can go one of two ways. It can get a pullback. This market right here, right now, this is a moment where your viewers might get a little wild. I might get a lot of hate here, but it's all about compounding right now. And if you took a trade on Uber, congratulations, number one. And if you caught this at a perfect timing, amazing. Number two, I think that you close that initial trade and you roll. What we do is we call it a roll. And when you take your roll number, like you need to put a lot of money, you put all of your principal capital, your initial capital in your pocket, and a good chunk of the profits that you made from your initial trade also in your pocket. And then from your roll, you do not put a stop loss on it. Maybe that roll, that second trade, gets a huge drawdown. Don't let that distract you. Do not put a stop loss on it. Let it go, because in this market, you might get a headline that's going to shake you out. It's going to shake you out. 10 minutes later, 2 days later, it's going to be boom, right back to where it was, probably higher, right? Maybe higher. And but what you don't want to do is you don't want to keep adding to a loser. Just because you're drawing down, you don't want to keep adding to it. Like you do not want to do it. Key to this, put profit in your pocket, violently protect your principal. I've always said that. Then violently protect your profit. But let it be. Let your runners run. That's how you do it. And don't be like, oh, I need to stop out. You're not going to make $1 million a month by stopping out at a 50% drawdown on profits. That's just not how it's going to happen right now, right? You're going to, like I said, it's headline driven market. Shit's going to happen. But if you get scared, dude, and you stop out, you're going to be like, I should have held. And you probably should have. But like at the same time, it's like, it's about sizing. Size matters. Premature allocation is not cool, but also let your runners run.
Rocket Lab, what are you thinking about this one?
All-time high, babies. Coming in, $40, coming in hot. 40. Did you know that?
I don't know why Space caught a bid the past 24 hours, but it did.
Because it's going to the moon.
I mean, yeah, but
no, I mean, Mars. It was Mars. Well, so we talked about this a bit. I actually did buy this dip from, again, value here, creation. We talked about this anti-Elon moments and the setup. So if you were listening closely, you actually caught this. So this push to this high, I thought was a bit overdone, right? This was the anti-Elon move. I thought that was coming in a bit hot. And when we talked about this 2 weeks ago or so, I said, this is probably going to get overdone to the downside too. And I think the anti-Elon move started somewhere over here. Somewhere in here. Anyway, somewhere lower. If I can get my buttons right. By the way, I got a Wacom drawing tablet. So in the coming weeks, our technical Tuesdays should be next level, much cleaner for you guys. But anyways, we thought that it could actually overshoot to the downside. And in fact, I believe it did. And it shot down to these 25, just under 25. I did grab equity down here, not options per se, not options, but I did go ahead and take some YOLOs today, just in case, because we did hit all-time highs today. So congratulations to the Rocket Labs. This fits that mode like that theme that I was talking about. Mid-cap growth is small. It's small. And I think that, you know, if this were to go, if you were just to measure this, this could be from this consolidation. If this ends up being that breakout area, 42.96 is that extension. If it gets love, do I want to put a lot of money behind this? No, right? If I get the move, I get the move. It's great. That's up to 45, right? But I am in equity. I do like it. I did get this little dip buy. I'm happy with that dip buy. Good God, I'm up a lot actually, quickly. So hopefully you guys got that too. That's 36% in a couple days. Congrats to me or to you. I don't know. That's cool. I probably am not going to take it because that sucks in terms of short-term capital gains. That's some shit. Anyways, luxury problems, they say. Luxury problems.
Absolutely.
I can't hear you.
I said those are first world problems.
Yeah. First world problems, luxury problem. But yeah, extension is it's clearly over 34s, but it would be in the 40s. Let me just do this quick on this dip alone. I think I'll probably get some confluence. Yeah, it's gonna be 38s, maybe 38s. Tomorrow morning, we could see that extension. It's gonna have to be over that 35. This one is a little bit of a squeezy stock, I gotta say. So intraday, it might look weird. It's volatility can be high on something like a Rocket Lab, so don't look at it after hours or anything like that. Like, or even just this is one, again, you don't really want stop losses, because stop losses on something like this isn't really going to work. It's just about what allocation and at what price you're going to put it at. It's your net dollar allocation. That's how you have to think about it. How much money am I going to allocate towards this shot, right? And from a technical perspective, it's today's low, 32.50, which happens to be Monday's high. That's ideal. Can you get a pullback to $30? Yeah. And this still be valid? Yeah, you can. But ideally, I'd like to see it over 32.50.
Okay. In the same vein, can we do ASTS, because that one also hit all-time highs today?
Yeah, sure. We can do Archer.
Or
No?
Let's do that
ASTS.
after ASTS. We'll do that.
I mean, ASTS 53. Well, Archer's your stock. ASTS is still going. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it is. Not that it matters. So this also fits the bill. This is small cap?
12 billion? 14
No,
billion?
mid cap. 17. See, you got to keep up. You got to keep up with these now. As they go higher, these market caps get bigger, dude. 17 billion mid cap. Is that mid cap? Yeah, it's mid cap because it's bigger than your Duolingo, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at 55, I think this is pretty much there. This is still squeezy, dude. If it's over 55, 60, bro. Can someone put this in the server?
They've had a string of partnerships over the past 2 weeks that have been really beneficial, and retail's gotten even more excited about it. I mean, it was 25 a month ago.
Yeah, I know. Momentum is real. It's that kind of market right now. So if you have the momentum, the market right now is like, if the stock has the momentum, you can just run with it, and you do want to ride it. That's the kind of market. If it doesn't have the momentum, you don't really want to continue to press it. Chris, UNH. But But like, you know, it could be a distraction if it doesn't. But over 55.50, it 63.40. I actually really like Chris a lot, though, by the way. We're buddies. Even though we're never on stream at the same time. Have I ever? No, I have. We were on Spaces together. It's 63.44, doubles that. I'm just gonna do this for you since it's triple as possible. I'm not gonna do that. No. There's a white line at the top of my screen. That's the triple. I'm not gonna say that number out loud.
Was it 70?
I mean, no.
What is it?
I said 86.50.
Goodness great. Dude, the space mob will freaking, I don't know what they would do if they see 80. That would be pretty wild.
No, it's not GME, guys. Wrong space.
SMCI.
The shit co?
Hey, you said it, not me.
I did say it.
I don't think it's a shit co, first of all. The margins are shit. It's not a shit company. That's not true.
It's a shit co.
It's not a shit co, bro. They're supplying all the freaking servers for NVIDIA. That's not a shit co.
Well, they dilute you.
Well, no, but apparently they raised $2 billion because they have so much demand. That's the positive spin on it. You could all you want. But...
Hey, you want to know the truth? I'll tell you the truth. The truth is, I finally gave it a shot. I said, fine. The setup is there. I gave him a shot, and they burnt me so bad.
Well, you got diluted as soon as you gave it a shot.
I literally that day, because it's fine. It is what it is. I don't mind it, right? Because I was looking at this consolidation because it is. But this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why it is. This is why it's no stop loss kind of sizing, but the consolidation levels here, it was high and tight, right? But why the situation is the situation in the market is because, look, you can have a chart that looks this good. This is hood. This is everything else. You have your center line consolidation right here, right in here. That is 74 or 44 and change. This is Friday. SMCI looking ripe and ready to roll. Not going to lie. She's looking ripe and ready to roll. 37-day consolidation, very tight SMAs, golden cross, not that that matters, nobody cares. 20-day over, high and tight. 44, yeah, we know, we go to 48, right? 48, though, nobody really cares at my team. Nobody over here cares about 48 because it's all about 60, right? At $60, I'm out of here, but I would be looking for that 48 to blammo 60 in very short order, actually. So I get that, but this would be step one, right? And so, you know, as much as I don't like the company or necessarily stock, I won't deny us a chart, AMD. I'll take the trade. And I did. And look what they did to me. Look how dirty they did me. This is literally the next day. But no, my trade's not invalid. That's also true. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm just going to sit here. We'll see. I did get cut in half, but it's not the end of the world.
You're still in the trade, right?
I actually am. It's not an active breakout. I thought I closed it, but I actually did. I would have closed it. I thought I closed it. I think I meant to close it, but I think I took it in the I took it in the Robinhood account because I'm like flipping between a bunch of accounts right now, and I don't know what happened. I was supposed to close it, and I forgot.
You're going sideways right now.
It's sideways, but like when I realized I didn't close it, I was like, fine, because it is a failed right now it didn't. So it's the same thing. It didn't continue lower because that's what I would have expected to see. My issue is that it's legitimate dilution. So normally, if as an also investor, in addition to being a trader, because it's actually dilution, I would think that this is just not good. But traders trade, so I don't know what they're gonna do. At this point, though, what I really need to see, this is not gonna happen. It's almost like call me when you're over 48, because that's when I think the move is actually gonna happen. Over 48, I do think that move straight into that 60 is going to be quick and dirty, but it might still take some time to set up.
Gotcha. Okay, Meta.
Large cap, I think it's on its way. I think this is a try. It looks okay. It looks, maybe Meta goes. It's there. It's very choppy, dude. So like this is a 20-day retest. So like this is, dude. Okay, so this is, so some of these mega caps are doing it, right? We talked about this earlier. This is kind of like that Coinbase. So this is one where, look, if this was your breakdown, maybe this is how Meta starts. Rewind the tape, almost like that Coinbase. Why we do that case study on stuff like that, we call it case study. When you look back you look at other situations, very quickly, here's Meta at the 20-day, high and tight. Here's that white line, it's the 20-day. And you have that early push down. Look at how quickly this is getting bought up. I don't know if this is news. To me, it doesn't even matter if this is news because, you saw Uber, like, look how crazy that lines up. It's just like that. And so does this continue tomorrow? I think you do put this on watch regardless, right? Maybe most mega caps are late cycle, but QQQ is, unlike SPY, QQQ is blue skies. Believe it or not. SPY is not blue skies ahead, but QQQ is blue skies. So blue skies here. So 715, 734. Go ahead, put it down. You just hit that 714. Look at that. Good God. So these are two inefficiencies that have to go. So you have hit that. Maybe you get a little bit of a pullback. This is week to week. So traders trade. By the next time I see you, maybe multiple things have happened. But this can get a little bit of a pullback. Today's low is important. That last retest happens to be 704. You put this on watch. A move on Meta tomorrow through the end of the week. Can I think for 1 second? Can I get a stat? Is that okay? Almost done.
Well, I'll give you a stat right here. Meta. All right, I'll let you guess. How long do you think it took Facebook to get 1 billion monthly active users?
I don't know.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Because we talked about ChatGPT today getting to 1 billion users, or they haven't disclosed it, but we probably know they're there. It took 8.7 years. So for Meta, Facebook took 8.7 years, YouTube took 8.1 years, Instagram took 7.8, WhatsApp took 7, TikTok took 5, and it looks like ChatGPT, they haven't disclosed it, but it looked like it took them 3 years, which is pretty insane. Yeah, a lot of people are recommending the shot clock. I'm going to try to integrate it with StreamYard. I don't even know if they're going to allow it.
You guys, they like the shot clock?
Yeah.
I like the shot clock, guys. I can shot clock myself. But that's kind of weird. What soundboard you have? Anyway, 734. I'd be looking at 720 calls, short dated. Ideally, when you're talking about options, you want to buy them slightly out of the money. You want to take profit when you're at the money, and you want to let your runners go in the money. You do not want to hold near dated calls past a 70 delta, 80 delta max. If you're anything over than that, you have more to lose than you have to gain. You're not leveraging options convexity. Don't do that.
Okay. Next one, we got about 30 minutes or about 40 minutes left because I got to leave at 6:30, but we do have a lot of time for some tickers. So guys, let's put some tickers in the chat. Please don't spam, but we can do a lot more of them. Nubank. Nice big day on this one. What are you thinking here? And again, real quick, we're not doing Zeta. We're not doing Iran. We're not doing Surf Air Mobility. We're not doing anything super small. We're just not going to be doing this.
Move happened. Nubank. Not really sure. This is international.
Upgraded
Or why? Oh, upgrade.
Latin American bank.
Yeah, was there upgrade?
Yeah.
There was an upgrade. 65 billion. Wowzers. Do you know that was such a huge market cap?
I did. Tanner has this in his ETF. He likes this one.
What's Tanner's ETF called?
It's called Byte. He's had some weird ass name.
Byte me?
It's about megabyte, gigabyte. It's like it's a Tanner type of a name. So.
Ooh. Cautious. First break is usually not the one. So cautiously optimistic. I think this gets a pullback.
Been stuck in a range past 5 months.
Yeah, this looks like it gets a pullback, but you'd want to watch that like higher low area around 1280s. But it's not a breakout yet. Yes, to your point, it is at the top of the range. It did not break range. It has not broken range. So it looks good, but it's like a Monet. It looks good from far away, but when you zoom in, you're like, oh no.
There you go.
You feel me? All right.
MRVL.
Beautiful. Love it. Buy more. It's happening. Long time, short time, all the above. Love it, love it, love it. One of the best charts in the market. You like AMD? That's AMD chart. MRVL might be better. Period. End of story. Splatter the chain. All of it. Shotgun effect, baby. This is a big one. It's a long time and a short time. It's a good time. It's a happening. This is an old 5G stock. Do I have time to talk about it? It's
Yeah, talk about it. Talk about it.
I do. It's an old 5G stock, oldie but goodie. It's actually a turnaround story. 5G is shite, going out of business. They're changing the model, doing away with the 5G stuff, which is their consumer department, which is why it was held down for a while, deservedly so. They're shifting away from that business. The analyst community is like, okay, well, they're slowing. That MRVL's business is slowing. Well, hello, that's because the consumer division, this 5G stuff, is slowing, which is what they're moving away from, moving into enterprise data center. And their other core is automotive. So coming out of the absolute crappiest of the crap automotive chip moment into actually probably really good automotive moment in time, coming off the worst of the worst in terms of that, and leaving behind the consumer 5G semi portion of their business and shifting into enterprise AI, helping make custom silicon, like think Astera and things like that. If they're successful, there's nothing but upside here. From a chart perspective, yeah, man, you're way out of you're just, trade location is beautiful. I love this chart. I love the story. So there's the story. Trade location is very good. Coming out off 65, that's the trade war zone. Now, today, again, here, you already have a higher high right off of. So here's your higher high from here. Beautiful pullback, retest. We talked about this, very tight. That purple line's 200-week simple moving average. From the breakout, retest instantly. And I mean instantly bought. She goes. She goes. She going. She going. She gonna be gone. So
a lot of people have been saying they like this name, so I agree with you.
yeah, so that's the storyline. The option flow is very bullish. I'm all over the place on this one. I have leaps, I have short dated, I have medium dated, I got
Okay. Reddit, which is up 5% after hours.
Shut up.
It is.
You're lying to me.
I'm not lying. It's up.
I did it again, baby. See how I'm yelling right now? This is what happens all day in the server. Again. I did it again.
Yeah. Someone is going to clip what you just did, put it on Wall Street Bets, and be like, look at this bull market. Look at this.
Let's go. Why is Unc yelling?
It's moving. Why is Unc yelling?
Hey, so we talk about this. When we talk about surgical strikes, right? Like in a server, we have a channel called surgical strikes. They're very planned, very tactical. So where is it? So Reddit I'd been on one of the early. Oh, I was very proud of it. When we do these emergency meetings, look at this. You should screenshot this. Situation. Market sleep is a sleepy outpost, unaware of the storm we're brewing. Volatility, patterns are screaming fire. We've got a window to hit hard, hit fast. We're leaving Wall Street in tears. That is the plan, but we cannot be reckless. We are SEAL Team 6, and we are not cannon fodder. Every trade must count. And then, so anyways, we do a whole like emergency meeting. And this is where's Reddit? Boom, boom, boom. Number 4 is here, baby. Here it is. 161. This is planned. You have triggers. So this is some of the stuff that we do in the server. So 1, 2, 3. You know how this goes. So target 148.61 was first. Then we go 154. I did it again. Anyways, yeah. So this was 1, 2 in this entire all of these attempts today in this last week or so. To me, I think we're part of attempt number 4. So the moment that this happened, yeah, fine, right? But so this was number 4 to me, which is cool. Sorry for yelling, guys. I know I'm just annoying, very annoying. A loser.
It's money, baby. It's exciting, 100%.
But so it was 160s next week for like $100. And all over the place. But today it was watching here also, and I took a little here. This moment yesterday is like, this can happen. 150s, 145s. We're over today, but even watching this in the pre, I'm like, you know what? I'm done playing around. You never saw our swing trade channel.
What did you say?
I don't think you ever saw what the swing trades look like. I mean, you were in the server, but like,
yeah,
there's too much. He's in so many servers, guys. Like he just can't. He just cannot.
Yeah, I'm out of all servers. But I mean, look, it basically you spotted a triple top.
So it's Reddit 173. I'm done playing. Threw some dirt at this week's 162s, but it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3. There's your.
Look, here's the thing: if someone's short-term trading, these surgical things matter. But if someone's also just bullish on Reddit, it's also really nice to see it break above these levels.
Oh yeah. So when we first looked at this, when it was down in the 120s or whatever on your technical Tuesday, I mean, so when it was down here, remember, I don't know if you remember, but when it was down here and we talked about it, I said like your style trade was going to be those January 2026 115 calls. I don't know if you recall that, but I did say that. And I think it was down here. And those January 2026 115 calls, I believe at the time were like no more than $15.
Yeah.
They were probably about $15. I have no idea what they are right now. Oh, they're $45. So, it's a 3x for you. It would have been a 3x for you, which you probably still should you would be holding still.
I don't personally swing trade. So for me, it's not really.
No, that's your January 2026. That's your style. That's your style.
No, that's not my style. My style is 18 months, 24 months leaps, go long spreads. I am not sophisticated enough to surgically strike Reddit.
No. It was January 2026. That at the time, am I misreading the situation? It was like over here, 110. It was early June.
Yeah, but I'm not in that trade.
Because you didn't take it.
Yeah, because there's 6 months to expiry. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not
at the time. It was like
6 month trade. I can't do that.
It was like 9 months.
It wasn't 9 months. What are you talking about? June to January. What are you talking about? That's like 6 months. Literally 6 months.
Okay.
June is the year.
You need more than 300 days. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
No, swing trading works. I'm just not at that level yet. Maybe later, but I can't trust myself to trust the 6 month option and be right on it. But some people are, like yourself. Obviously, you've done it.
No. It's cool. I guess I could have done a better job for you.
He gets so offended, bro. He's personally.
No, dude, I could have given you. I could have given you. I could have given you the January 2027 220 calls, but that's kind of stretching it. Like I could still give you those. You could still buy them. They're $30.
The problem there's Reddit is so high beta. I'm not gonna hold on to that for 2 years.
That's why I wouldn't say that's why you'd say like you want to buy those really far out of the money ones. Because if you're right, you're right. But you don't want to buy like you have to. It's options. Like if this goes, the thing is Sam is right. If this goes, Sam is right. And nobody really cares. It's not even going to be 160. 160 is a stop it's a stop. It's one stop on the train. And the train is like 300. So, okay, 220. Whatever.
Fundamentals, do they kind of matter? Because 300 is valuation wise. Aggressive for its growth.
No. So but that's the thing. Like it's there's trading and there's investing, and this is the trading show.
To get to 300, unless it's just a straight line up for whatever, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, if you got to 220, you'd probably be happy. That would be all-time highs.
And 220 was trading at like 40 times sales. Let's just be clear about that. That was pretty aggressive, multiple wise. Now, maybe that doesn't matter for the TA, but
yeah, something would have to change, but it's 180s for sure. I mean, you know what, dude, I'm sorry. Okay, January 2027, 220 to 270 call debit spread.
See, that's more my style. I'm not going to take that one. That's more my style.
Bad. But it'll be there. It's less than 8. It's a max value of 50. If you could get it for less than 5, then that's your 10 to 1. That's your 1 to 10.
I agree.
Ta-da.
Okay.
BD buzzer. That wasn't on me. Or was it?
Arista. What do you think of that one?
I love it. I started out, so I bought the stock because I do love it long time. I bought the stock again because I do love it long time. I think that this is in my way. I don't know why that's I just put it there. That stupid thing.
Jason's Twitter, by the way, is in the chat. His Discord is in his link in bio.
Yeah, I'm being a little weird today, guys. That we're doing really good. So I'm kind of on a good one. Sorry. But Arista, I think it was starting out just like so. Coinbase case study. Arista was starting out. It's been in a very tight consolidation. There's another one that I have my eye on that initially there were two. If you guys remember, is there anyone in the chat that has been watching since I've been on? since the liquidation day. There were two stocks that I bought pretty early. First was Arista. What was the other one? It also had an A. No. It's in the sexy. No.
Affirm.
Dude.
Wait, it starts with an A?
Yeah. In the semi sector.
A Lab.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So, guys. So Arista, though, remember Coinbase. Remember that failure to break down is what I'm looking for the beginning of a reversal. Here's Arista. And this is the setup that the setup here is like, well, we know Arista's setup, it's 98, right? $100 psychological level. By the way, it's over 80. So we know it's probably going to crack. We got a 50-day simple, playing that simple moving average, just hit its head right on that 200-day. It's a very similar setup, right? 200-day is that red line. 96.50 happens to be a 50% retracement from the swing high to swing low, by the way, of liquidation day. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of have this bit of a consolidation right here, right now. 618 target is going to be about 105. Next stop, once it can get through this, and probably a little bit higher. Now, from what I'm going to be looking at now is I'm actually going to be looking for a failure to break down somewhere around this 86 level. And it actually happens this week. This is Friday. And so Friday, as we come in, is looking kind of oogly. And then Monday, look at that. Look at that beauty of a butte. Failure to break down. Kablamo. So guess who hit Arista first thing Monday morning? Your boy did. Instant grab. Yeah. It isn't grab a small, no. Grab. So it hit Arista $90 calls for this Friday expiration was pretty much the first thing I did, or one of them. And then I since rolled up to 95s. I also bought equity. And so I'm in 95s now. I think I can roll up and out. I'm going to start looking to roll out. But yeah, I actually do think that this is already the failure to break down. We're already back over the 20. I do think that this actually breaks out of the box. And I do think that this is the springboard that it needed to make it into that 105. So whether or not it's this week or not, I don't know. I'm not really too concerned about it. I got a lot of trades on right now, you guys. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of stuff. But we are, we're looking good on Arista, near term, longer term. To be fair, we still have the 200-day simple right overhead. So even if this doesn't happen right now, this moment, I'm not going to be deterred at all. But I do think that we make a shot, we make a go. That Arista makes a solid effort. If it doesn't make it now, I don't really care. Maybe it comes back for another pullback, which could be a good pullback, but it's going to make another attempt, and that next attempt is definitely going to happen. And it's definitely back on its merry way. So yes, all dips buyable from here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do grab. What are you thinking about grab?
Right, grab looks all right.
Look, I'll say this again just to say I think the TA on this also is pointless because until we get earnings and know what they're doing with their cash, it's not going to matter. But I do like that it's holding above the 200-day.
So I can't say anything or no?
No, you can't. I'm just saying that my take is that TA here is, not going to matter much.
Yeah. Well, he definitely, when it looks bad, TA is not going to matter. But but it doesn't. And it seems to me that you got exactly what we were looking for.
I bought 450. So it felt, I didn't do TA. The vibes felt like enough is enough. This should be done. That was why.
The vibes. So 465, right? Like when we come back and look over. Yeah. I mean,
by the way, grab is not a small cock. Oh my goodness. Small cap. That's dude. You speak all day and just you trip over your words. And I'm never escaping that. But chat is over.
No, this is. I mean, this is
not a small cap because it's an $18 billion market cap.
Yeah, this is
small, the other thing I said as well.
Yeah, 18 billion is not small. It is firmly in that mid cap growth. Is the biggest difference being international. But that is a big difference. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. It never really lost the 200, man. It really didn't. It's got this is accumulation mode is what it is. I mean, any way you slice it, this is in accumulation mode. It's made some good moves, but it's just definitively consolidation.
It's not going to move until there's momentum on the actual company's progress. So
yeah, it's held. So trade location, you trade the edges as close to the edges as you can, right? Until it's like at the tippy tip, which might not be till the next year. This looks like it might be a next year mover.
Someone said because they're Asian. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Not until you try, dude. You don't know. You don't know.
Dude, there was one time I remember, I think it was 2 months ago, I was talking about DeepSeek and I ended up saying deep dick. I don't know. I just, you're talking 20,000 words a minute stuff, it's like,
yeah,
I can't escape it.
I hear you.
It's ridiculous. All right. Anyway, so you're saying it's good consolidating at these levels.
Yeah, it's consolidating. It's fine.
Okay, Apple. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think you're doing it. I think it's mega cap. I think it's gonna happen. But yeah, I think it's gonna happen. It ain't going lower.
I think you're so right. Right.
I think that this is. I think if you sleep on this, you're gonna miss out.
Dude, foldable phones? Is that not the future? Like, come on, bro.
Dude, 3 shades of titanium.
Come on,
like, bro.
Freaking gen emojis. People underestimate generative emojis are a game changer.
Absolutely.
To the group chats, bro. Come on. What are you talking about?
Dude, I'm shocked. I have these debit spreads on for Apple. It's like an annual, the once a year trade, right? But like it's crazy. I sent it to you, but like even like these just 210 calls I have on Apple, they're pretty short dated. Like this little move, like from 195 to this morning 207. Like, yeah, that's actually a lot of dollars on Apple, I guess. I didn't trim, but like it's 5% in like a couple days. That's crazy. I guess so. $10. I only need to do that one more time. And I'm a 10 bagger. Kaboom. No big deal.
Okay, Celsius. Dude, this is up 70% this year.
Yeah, that's right. I think that 222.87 on Apple just before you're getting really squeezy. It's today's high is going to be crucial. As this happens, 204s. If you're not accumulating here, you're going to miss it, I think. Or you're going to have to wait till it's over 213, 215, because there's going to be an explosion point in the market. 214.50, it's going to be an explosion from here to here. Massive imbalance. It can be choppy from here to here, but I think the chop speeds up once we get over 206. But it's 222, close to 225. 4th of July week.
Okay. Any thoughts on Nike? 2 days until earnings, or yeah.
I still think it's de-risked.
Okay, we'll do Celsius then Nike. Yeah.
I mean, it's there. I guess I wouldn't sell it. I mean, I didn't buy it because, like, at this point, I'm like, I've just been so like, I think you continue to stay long, dude. I could probably press this. I think you could probably press it
on Celsius.
probably.
I just don't know why it's been moving. That like there's nothing. I mean, they got an upgrade, but
Did they? I mean, here, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, I think it deserves. So it's recovered more than. So at this point, the recovery is too prevalent to deny. It's like AMD. Like, you can deny it all you want. You could say, I don't like the drink. It tastes shitty, right? But like, it comes a certain point where you're just like completely in denial, right? Like, just completely in denial. Yeah. And probably by the time you buy it, if you deny it too long, by the time you buy it, it's just gonna completely shat all over you because it'll just go straight down because you've waited so long. But at that point, you'd be waiting beyond 50, and you'll buy it at 50, and then it'll go straight down to 35, and then you'll be like, but let's see, probably a true story.
okay. Nike.
So 39, if you saw it, right now it's got the Momo. 49, I think it gets there. Then 53, and then 60. Nike's tomorrow, no, Thursday. Oh, it's not bad, dude. I feel like it's de-risked, but it's not de-risked because the new CEO still has the kitchen sink that he can throw out. That's actually not a bad bounce here on 59. It's bounced there a handful of times. That's the balance zone. So holding over 59, it's fine. I thought it could have gotten a lot worse. I'm not even down on this thing. I'm not even down on my Estee Lauder. Holy shit, I thought I would be.
Yeah, we got to do that one too.
Really? Well, okay.
Do you think earnings is a catalyst that's meaningful for Nike or no?
I think it can be, but I think you have to take this. I think it's definitively a show me, and I think it really has to get over 62. Like, it was really interesting on these couple days, like this day, 62.60, like that's this low right here. It really has to hold over that, and then cool, like then you could be like in the 70s and stuff. And even this moment, like if you got over 62 into here, look, like that's 13 something percent. And then if you start like actually making moves, then you could be talking about a lot. But right now you're talking about 75 maximum velocity, and longer term turnaround story. Like, I don't really know why Chris doesn't like Nike either. If he likes UNH, why wouldn't he like Nike? Maybe he likes Nikes. Maybe. Don't you wear Nikes?
No, hold on. UNH does.
Flash it. Like, breaking news. Amit wears Nikes. Show him right now.
I don't even know.
They're not even the slippers.
Is this Nike? I don't know.
That's a slipper.
No, it's Adidas. It's Adidas. Yeah.
Oh.
No, but UNH does.
It was a 50-50 shot, guys. It was really 50-50. I was close.
Yeah, UNH I think is actually undervalued. Nike is undervalued, but it's not like screaming undervalued like UNH, I think.
Yeah.
Also, Nike has China exposure. UNH has DOJ investigation risks, but
fair. Nike Chinese exposure, and like if there was a war, and like a lot of textiles come out of Middle East.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, Nebius. 8% today. I think on the broader semi momentum today, this one pumped.
Yeah, I think so momentum and semi catch up, right? So momentum and semi catch up. MRVL is going to be semi catch up with momentum. So if you get a little bit of that, you get a couple 1,000% on MRVL. How much MRVL do you own? What was the first? So I text Amit, my good friend Amit, a couple things that I'm like, I'm going to buy this, and that. And like, sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't. But early on, I did tell him I told you. That's what I said.
You did?
He doesn't. They think I align.
No, you did. You did indeed.
I just felt like buying some more right now, so I actually did it. Anyways,
All right, we got 15 minutes.
Look at 59. If it cracks this, so 53 is good. 53 is good. I just think we're a squeezy part of the market. If we are going to go all-time highs, you get some really squeezy plays. So I'm okay with these breakout stuff now. But this is not S&P, so it doesn't really matter. This might not be in the same. That's why international, I'm like, maybe, because if the S&P or QQQ or SMH or IWM are squeezing to all-time highs, international is not part of that, right? So like, that's why I'm like, international might not be where I'm super interested in. I guess it'd be up in here, but it has to crack through 55 in strength. But there's earnings coming.
Okay. So guys, I got to leave early today at 6:30. So that's when we got 15 more minutes. We'll try to get as many names as we can. We'll start rapid fire here. Baba, to start us off. I know you don't like.
You take a shot. I just went on this whole bender on like how I don't like international right now. How I think it, not like I don't like it. I think you can like it, but I do think it'd be a distraction. I think you might miss some stuff.
Okay.
But so we talked about this last time. Trade location is much better than it was last time. Much better. It looks okay. It looks good.
Do you see a double bottom at 111?
Yeah, I see failure to break down. So it's the same thing. It's the same setup, but like it's already failed to break. So like you might be a little bit late. Trade location, like I said, much better. Failure. So this is like timing matters. Here is that failure to break down. So 111. It's not, yeah. So like it was actually breaking. So it's not a double bottom. It is a liquidity grab. And over here, so it still has a little bit of work to do. But if it holds 116, these stocks, like they gap like crazy. So you'll have to see tomorrow. Tomorrow it could gap up to 120. It could open at 120 basically, because it's ADR, it trades overnight. So if it opens at 120, cool. But like you don't want it at 120. It's not good trade location. At 110, it's good. It's great trade location. At 115, it's okay trade location. At 117, it's like okay trade location. Over 120, it's not great.
Okay. Oscar.
Better trade location. But 14 was amazing trade location. Stay the course, man. I don't know. I'm not selling this. Are you selling this?
I'm not in this. But I wouldn't sell it here for a 10% dip from 20 to 19 or 22 to 19. You get 1850 today at one point.
I'm not selling. I mean, it didn't break out. It's not like a full breakout either.
Yeah. It had 15 minutes of fame, and those 15 minutes of fame can last, but it's struggling to, really make a trend.
Well, just tell them like you're still putting together your schedule to do your. Aren't you going to do this one?
No, we already did. We already did a deep dive on them.
And
it's cheap. I just don't want to chase it, but it's cheap. 100% it's cheap.
Well, where would you buy it?
What is that?
Tell the masses. Give the people what they want.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it gets down to the 14s, 15s, I think I'm more interested, but it's not at these levels.
1672, it's worth a shot. Again.
Okay. App Lovin'.
Do it. Buy it.
Dude, this got demolished after S&P. They didn't get in.
Your boy bought it today.
You bought it today?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
He's in.
We'll see. Failure to break. A legit demolishment. I took a lot. He's a small dude. It's small. So small. I mean, trade location. 50-day. It's a wild one. 50-day is right there. This is yesterday's low. That's what I'm looking at. instantly just wicks down below this morning, quickly over. I'm like, truth be told, I actually bought it like early, something like in here. I was like, I'm not going to watch this. I'm just going to go ahead. I tried to add over here and I was like, no, I couldn't get it. And it was just going. I was like, fine, I'm just going. Cause I just did too much stuff. It was everything, dude, trading account. I'm not going to say anything. We're going to make $1 million in the next 4 to 6 weeks. This crew, probably a lot of people we're going to make some millionaires. Anyways, case study, Coinbase. I hope so. You never know. You really never know. So no promises. Coinbase case study. I don't know. It's the first shot. Here's the breakdown. This is actually a clean session gap. So upon further inspection, if you will, but a little bit of confluence. It's just one day. It happens to be that today actually closed over this, what we're going to call like breaker structure, and this prior pivot. So from here, this needs to get it. So on the week 360, so 360 is a big deal. Why is this not showing? Okay, so the blue line right there is where I think it can get to. And so if it can actually reclaim 360 this week, I think it can get there, maybe even higher, because like it's a $20 average daily range a day, which if it closes at 350, that's tomorrow. That's and then, yeah. So you measure those kind of things. And then 381 would be one more day beyond that. It is the 20-day simple, and that is your 50 to 20 ping pong move. And I think that could be a weekly move. But if this is last week's range right here, honestly, if you're over 380, 400's in the cards.
Okay. Last couple minutes. I don't know if you want to do this one, but Iran, any thoughts on this one?
I don't want to do that. I mean, it's super tiny, isn't it?
Yes, very tiny. Bitcoin miner. All right, we can move on. I know a lot of people want it, but yeah, it's very tiny. We did AMD already.
I just think, look, this is like, if you've made some money on any of these, here's what I'll say. If you've made some money on any of these, right, go ahead. Got it. Like I went on a rant earlier. The market in this moment, go ahead. You want to take all your principal out if you're talking about options. And I think you do use options in this moment, in this environment, in this setup. Take your principal out, protect a lot of your profit, take 30% of your profit from your initial trade and go ahead, throw it at something, some kind of option, and do not put a stop on it, and expect that little bit of your profit that you threw out there to go to zero. Expect it to go to zero. And if it doesn't, amazing. And maybe you hit some like really good trades. But on that, especially on something like this, you don't know.
You don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Last couple right here. Netflix, all-time highs. Just keeps going up. Dude, people are not canceling the Netflix subscriptions.
So this is the other setup, by the way. So the other setup is the high tight at the simple moving average. So like, and then you have that, you have this wall and you have a little bit. So you have the breakout, and then you have like a boosh failure. And then you get really close to that 20-day simple, and it's trying. And then finally it just pops, right? And you have to, basically what you do is you take the failure point right there, right? And as it goes, this is somewhat important. you get this little box. But this is what your other setup looks like. So you have a setup that is the failure to break down, and then this is I don't know. Maybe the chat knows. Is this the Triceratops?
It looks more like a.
This is the bony frill. No. Anyways, but you get this area here. Sometimes you get that where it's like, okay, you've actually got it, but it doesn't have to have this, but you have this area where it's like very tight on the SMA. But you can get an inflection point, and it's multiple times, right? So like 1, 2, 3, and you have some kind of SMA here. And if you can identify, this was JPM, right? An area that did break down with some kind of market inefficiency up there. When you finally do get that full, see how none of these actually breached over that first breakdown? By the time you actually do, when you actually do, it's pretty quick and pretty dirty, but you continue to hold. All this pre-market never goes. And then finally in a pre-market, you actually get some kind of move, never going. And then it's this first trade intraday, holds over open range, and then kablooey. And it looks like that is live.
Yeah.
And then she gone. But this is that, it's that setup, it's that candle here. There it is. So see how this, even on this moment, it pops, but it comes back and then holds below. Like, that's not it. That's not the one. It's the one that pops. Oh my God. Comes back in, pops, and holds above, and actually holds over. It's this moment that, you know, okay, shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is Monday.
All right.
So now I actually think, yeah, you could probably continue.
All right, Jason, I have to go.
Yeah, that's all good.
I'm going to end it off on Bitcoin. I legit have to leave right now. I'll leave the stream open. You do Bitcoin. I will close.
No,
it.
I got to go too. It's
right.
close.
Peace, guys. Love you all. I'm out.
When are you coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I got to leave for like.
Oh, I have to go.
Okay, so do Bitcoin, and then I'll close it once you're done. I'm out.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna do Bitcoin. You could probably do
real quick. Jason's Twitter, putting it in the chat. Anyone wants to follow him? It's right there in the chat. All right. Love you guys.
Thanks a minute. Later, bud. Adios. Bitcoin is interesting. So like, I think it's hard because if you really think about Bitcoin, it's like we talked about it last Tuesday. It's like Bitcoin is like, to get to a real breakout, you're really legitimately talking about $1 trillion coming in. It's squeezy. It's possible that it happens, I guess. Like, I can't put it behind it. This is a very tight setup. Not gonna lie, this looks like it's gonna happen. Wasn't expecting to see it that tight. Shit, that's tight. This is 24-hour market. So you're here. It's funny too, because you see this whole thing, this fake out. This is war headlines. We were even breaking down, like not going over that 109 before that. It's funny, not funny. So 109.58. What we have to see is over 106 here, which I think is fine. Let me see if I can find that level. I think I see it. I think we're over it. I think we are over it. 104.80s. I I think this is happening. So happening means 109s. This is the near-term pivot. It's basically there. It's risk back on. I just can't say if it's, oh, is it going to hit all-time highs? Like, what does that actually mean? Like, you're literally talking about an extra $1 trillion coming into Bitcoin, which is crazy to me. We're halfway in last week's range. Okay, so 109.52 is the last high. We cannot lose. Bitcoin cannot lose 103.629. It can pull back to here. Cannot see that get lost. 103, below 103. It's a rat. 103, below 103. It's not happening anymore. Unless it's over. Unless it gets reclaimed. Anyways, 114 and then 123. It's 114 and then 123 is legit what I have. But you have a couple stops. One is 109, 588. Two is 110, 944. What are those from? Those are measured from this consolidation. So from that consolidation, those are those measurements. And you get one more. From this consolidation. Possibly up to 118 at most. So possibly up to 118. Which means that has to look like what? It has to look a little bit like this. Here. That's it. That's all I would get. Screenshot it. That's target, quite frankly. I guess at most it could go 127. $123. That's it. That's all I can see. And I think that's actually very doable. That is doable. I can see that. I like that. Some kind of trajectory. Cool. That's like another 50 billion Bitcoin. Yeah, 500 billion. Yeah, for sure. Well, so 120 was always kind of like the target initial, like the primary target for sure. Even from this to that 127 max. Yep. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love y'all. If you don't have it, there's a free link in the server. Stop by, I guess. You can at me. Some of the crew's there. I don't really pin it, but there's like, just go to my profile. And I think on this tweet, yeah, free sauce, you can hop in. There's like a little verification thing. We'll probably open it up from time to time. We're thinking about doing open houses, which is like eventually, we haven't done it yet. Eventually we'll open up the whole server for maybe like, yeah, like an open house at some point. Oh, I didn't do a pick. I'm thinking Roku. Swear. I don't know that it's ready right now, but I think it needs to be focused. Amit's not going to like it. He missed Netflix. He wants streaming revenue. I'm just saying, it's a Kathy name. I know it looks ripe and ready. It's well over all this stuff. Definite failure. It's breakout time. It's primed. It is very squeezy name. It is mid cap. It's underloved, but when you really dig into it, it's kind of got a little bit of everything. And over this level, like look at this volume shelf. This is a big deal. Big deal? No pickle? I don't know. This guy closing over this 82. If you get a pullback, I don't know that you're going to get pullbacks in this market at this point. We're tapping all-time highs. So I don't know that you're going to get those pullbacks. There's one little blip in the radar that you have to get through. Again, I think you get through it though. And that's when it, I think we're going to open over it. 83s right here, which is that this is what last Tuesdays, there was a little breakdown. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was news. Maybe it wasn't. Today, I saw a lot of July 85s go through. I did grab a tiny bit of those, but over 86, this is just going, I mean, gone. It's not even 86, it's 85.20, 85.30. And then you guys know, you may or may not know, this gets really squeezy. You could see 100 quickly, but 90 would be the next big move. And a name like this, I really would not be surprised to see 100. But yeah, the setup is there. It's in the right sector. It's at the right market cap. Actually, it's, believe it or not, Roku is only 12.2 billion, $12.3 billion market cap right now. It's not going to take much. And it's a household name with growth potential. Amit will not believe me. You guys believe? I'm not even looking at the chat. Roku over MRVL? No. Roku's squeezy. MRVL's a long time. I mean, Roku has its own merits. July 31st earnings. You're about to trigger a squeeze on the week. But I'm going to leave you with this as a watch. Market cap melt up. But yeah, 110. It doesn't even start. Like it doesn't even start a recovery until it's over 110. Imagine Celsius double top recovery, and then imagine a Roku recovery from its double top failure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace. He will shut it down.